Hopefully my stream doesn't do the weird stuttering thing. It's been doing that last 2 streams, and I don't really know why. I kind of know how to fix it, but I don't... I mean, temporarily. So if it does a weird flickery thing, let me know. But yeah, how are you, Sarah? Hello, hello. And everybody else who is probably not here yet. Okay, what am I painting today? I don't know. I was thinking I was going to paint on this. It's a little mushy. The shapes are kind of wonky. But I also kind of want to start something new. If I were to start something new, what kind of environment might I want to paint? I could do a water painting. We haven't done any water paintings in a long time. I feel like some sort of icy... You know what? What about like an icy city? Or like ruin... Again, maybe ruins. I'm a big fan of... a big sucker for my long lost ruins. But maybe some icy place. Maybe it's not ruins. Maybe there's actual people. Maybe there's mer people. Except maybe the mer people are icy mer people? I don't know. I don't know how that would work, but we could figure it out. Also, how's volume and stuff? My settings have been kind of wonky lately. I think it should be good. I think it's good. If it's not, let me know. Also, the song has... I know this song. But also, because this is the Baldur's Gate song. But, yeah, I was going to say, it's weird because this song has lyrics, and none of my music has lyrics. I guess that's what happens when I shuffle a gigantic playlist I didn't make. Who knows what we will come across? Okay, I think the reason this stuff looks mushy is because these things aren't vertical. And, like, if you're going to build architecture, you should have it mostly vertical. Like, I know it can lean, but yeah, hope everyone's doing well. Hope the day is going nicely. Today was nice for me. I had the day off. I didn't have to work. And so I played games. Which I've been doing a lot of lately. But that's okay. I wasn't, like, not doing things that are, like, not, what do you call it? I wasn't avoiding responsibilities. But I was very much playing a lot of games. Also, I have a webcam. Here we go. Yeah, I think once you start avoiding your responsibilities, that's when you know you've been playing, that's when you know you've been playing too many games. When you're actually avoiding responsibilities to game. Sharky says, hello, your latest YouTube live is only 20 minutes, mate. Oh, yes. And at the end of the 20 minutes, I'm like, I'm lagging. Come follow me on Twitch. Because, yeah, I've been having I had some technical difficulties last stream, so I turned off the YouTube live video. It's back on today. Or, I think it is. I could double check. Yeah, it should be on right now. Speaking of which, I don't actually have the chat open for YouTube, so I should probably do that. Okay, now if anybody chats, I can see them on YouTube. Although yeah, just double. Sorry, I'm looking at my stream to make sure it's not doing the weird stuttering thing. Okay. It's probably not good for me to have my stream open while streaming, but right now that is the only reasonable way I can actually keep an eye on whether or not it's doing the little stutter thing, because that doesn't show up on my end. So yeah. I think what I might want to do... Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do some sketching. And I know I do a lot of non-finished work here on stream. Like this one, like that one, like most of the things I paint. Today is going to be no exception. More unfinished work, as usual. Doing some sketches, trying to figure out another kind of painting that I want to work on. Because I think what's fun about this is even though they're kind of sort of unfinished, they still inspire each other, and it's sort of like a ping-ponging effect where one bounces to the other, which bounces back to the other one, and it kind of goes back and forth. What am I doing here? New folder. I'm making a folder for today's stream. 965. Do you not have the rest of the last stream available anywhere? Did it record on Twitch or it's probably recorded on Twitch somewhere. If I remember, I can upload it. Honestly, it wasn't a very good stream, so you're not missing much. But today will be better, so thank you for being here. No, I will try. If I remember, I will upload it to YouTube. The problem when I upload it to YouTube, though, it ends up being a video and not a live stream. And I don't like that it shows up in the video section because I don't want it to be pushed to people through an algorithm as a video. It's not a video. It's a stream VOD. And so, yeah, I don't know. I don't love the idea of uploading them to YouTube that way, but I could do it. You can upload it as you help me. Oh, that's true. That's true. I did a critique. Oh, goodness. Yeah, maybe I should. Maybe I should. You're right. You're right, Sharky. I kind of forgot. It's not a bad observation. Alright, yeah, maybe I will try to upload it after. Maybe I'll even just, I don't know, just put that part on. Oh, that's even more work. Because then I have to download it locally. God dang it, I was paused on the setting up screen. Why does Twitch do that, says Sarah. Sarah, you missed so much. A whole 10, not even 10 minutes, 5 minutes, because I was gone for the first 5 minutes of setting up. Anyway, how's it going, Sarah? Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much. Yeah, I'll try to upload the VOD from last stream to YouTube or find a way to get it somewhere. Well, no, WeTransfer sucks because I have to then download the VOD from Twitch to my computer, which will be massive. A 4-hour video is not a small file size. And then I have to re-upload it back to WeTransfer, which also takes a while. So that's just a lot of... I mean, not that I'm a bit lazy, but that's a lot of work. It's much easier to do one click and upload to YouTube from Twitch. There's an integrated link where all you have to do is just click it and it'll upload it to your connected account. So I will probably upload it to YouTube. But yeah, we'll see. Because of your inspiration, I've now been labeled as a prolific painter. By who? By whom? Whom's labeled you a prolific? I mean, that's cool, though. Congrats on being a prolific painter. I mean, painting a lot makes you prolific, right? Isn't that what it is? But yeah, Sarah, hi. How are you? Hope you're doing well. You probably missed all the stuff I said earlier, but that's okay. Like I said, you didn't miss a ton. Hope your day's been going good. And what else did I say? I went over what I'm going to do today, which is I may not actually work on this. I kind of want to, but I kind of want to just paint maybe a water scene or something. It's been a while since I've painted anything water related, and it'd be kind of fun to do some sort of water. And I also don't want to paint everything ruins, but maybe some sort of water tribe or water temple city underwater, half submerged. You're decent, me? I'm doing pretty okay. I mean, probably playing more Zoominos than I should be, but you know what? I've been having fun. And like I said, I haven't been neglecting my, basic responsibilities, so I feel like I'm, other than maybe like properly stretching and not slouching for too long, but other than that, no, I'm good. I am one challenge away from having all the challenges done on Director. Yeah, I don't know. I saw another person do that, except it was when they like completely crushed it. I'm like, okay, that doesn't necessarily help anyone because like you obviously did good. And I'm like, you know what? I sucked today, so I'm gonna do a write-up of why I sucked. And yeah, so yeah, that one was completely my fault. I literally just threw the game. But even with me throwing the game away, um, even with me throwing the game away in that particular daily challenge, it was still almost redeemable. But I had to play like absolutely perfect, and I actually I should almost report the thing as maybe a potential bug. I don't think it was. I think there's something I missed, but I swear something didn't work the way I thought it was, and then I lost. But I'm pretty sure it was skill issue. Oh, you weren't sure if the lyrebird... Wait, not lyrebird. Sorry, not lyrebird kangaroo. It was, the... Sorry, no, the thing that was... Yeah, no, not that. I think maybe I typed it up wrong if that's what you got from it. No, so what happened was... I based... So there's the thing that when you put a animal into the corner, it gets double points. And so I put my whale there, which gives me 1,000, right? And then it doubles it to 2,000. And then I kangarooed it right next to it, right? So kangaroo is sitting here, and that doubles it from 2,000, right, to 4,000. And it should have, because I did, oh yeah, lyrebird. Sorry, yeah, it is lyrebird. Lyrebird's a doubling one. Never mind, I've got confused. And then yeah, then the lyrebird, I thought would double the kangaroo and turn it do another bounce from 4,000 to 8,000. But it didn't do that. It didn't go that high. It just stuck at the 4,000 or whatever. And I ended up with 7,000 or whatever that was, plus my other board. So yeah, never mind, you read it right. But yeah, I don't know why it didn't. I feel like it should have, but maybe it was. Was it a bug? Maybe it wasn't. Or maybe I'm hallucinating and somehow I lost numbers that I shouldn't have. But I ended at 7,000 and I needed 11,000 for that run. I ended up editing it because I initially typed it wrong, because trying to remember things in hindsight can go wrong. But so yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what went wrong there, but either way, I lost the run not because of that, but because the entire game plan was flushed down the toilet due to me just basically deleting my own win condition. So that's not good. But anyway, I'm gonna do some painting. Yes, math stream. Yes, how's it going? Yeah, math stream. No, I've been playing Zoominos. It can get a little mathy, especially when you're doing the early game combat math to make sure that you are not losing by 1 point or something stupid. So yeah, there can be a little bit of math. Only once have I actually pulled out the calculator, though. Only once. Most of the time you can just eyeball it and okay, double that, kind of ballpark estimate if you're over or under your goal. But sometimes it's very particular. Okay, what do I want to do today? I think I want to... But yeah, I appreciate you asking about the lyrebird kangaroo thing on my behalf. Well, I am curious what they end up saying. I feel like it's gonna be one of those times where they're like, no, he was just dumb. He just didn't, he's clearly mistaken. It's working as intended, or something. I'm pretty, I did run into another bug today, which I reported, which was for sure a bug. But that one, to me, was less obvious because it was one math and I could easily be mistaken. But also, I'm not sure... I suspect, for example, and I don't know if you're still listening, but I suspect... So there's a kangaroo, which bounces something. So here's a domino. There's a kangaroo on it. Nope, there's not a kangaroo. There's a whale on it. We'll draw the whale. Here's the whale. There's a whale. Anyway, let's pretend there's a whale. And the kangaroo will bounce the whale tile. So it basically brings it to your hand, and then it plays it again. So it reserves the points. But I suspect if you were to double the kangaroo ability, but have another ability, I bet it would bounce them both in quick succession. I think the trigger happens when it's not on the board. So I think it's bouncing it to your hand, and then it's triggering again when it's not in your hand, because it's going boom, boom, boom. It's like, I think it's triggering. That's what I think's happening. And I'm not sure if it's supposed to. I didn't have another tile here, so I don't know. But I suspect if I did, it would have bounced them both, and it would have kangarooed them both. That's what I suspect would have happened. Which, I don't know. I'd need to test it, but... Yeah, I only used it the initial time. I was literally just... The kangaroo had one target. I lyre birded the kangaroo, and it did not do it. Or at least... It didn't seem to do it, because it didn't give me a double... It should have doubled it again, right? Because that was a doubling corner square. So, anyway. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what happened, but... It doesn't really matter, because I don't think that would have won me the game, to be honest. I mean, it would have won me the round, and it would have made me get to the last day. But that's not... I wouldn't have done very well on the last day, so it wouldn't have really mattered. But I did, so part of the reason I thought it would be interesting to do like a little write-up thing is because I am not totally sure how the set seed RNG works. Because like the one other person who replied to me said they did not get the same unit when they mythic thing, so it's probably dependent on color and type, is my guess, and I can only guess at mechanics because I don't know how they're coded, and so... We both got the mythic treat, which turns one of your animals into a mythic animal, but they got a different mythic animal. Admittedly, a much better one, because having a stupid Loch Ness monster on the bottom of your deck that you can't access is not good when you're trying to use it to win the game. So yeah, that's less than ideal. Anyway, did stream just die for me or anyone else? Should just be you. It's working for me. I see myself on my stream. Okay, I'm back. Sarah with the technical difficulties. But yeah, Sarah, as I was saying, I like... The reason I think the write-up thing is interesting is it kind of slowly helps me understand how the set seed thing works. Because like I used a mythic treat on an animal, and I got a different mythic animal than the other person. But I'm suspecting it's probably just because we used it on different other animals and different colors and different types, and that probably factors in somehow. And so you kind of learn like, okay, well, we both got the mythic treats. The shops are probably the same, right? Everybody probably gets the same first shop. But after that, it diverges quickly. I think at some point, you're just never going to have similar runs. Like, because I think Matt said in Discord that it should be like the same number. Like if you re-roll the shop 5 times, that 5th shop should always be the same. But then again, that's not even totally true, because shop odds change with stage. Like as the game progresses, the shop odds go up. And so if the numbers are changing, like surely it can't be the same. So I'm not even entirely sure exactly what is the same when the seed is the same. I guess the starting conditions are the same and every choice you make deviates it. But it is interesting. I find that stuff interesting. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is I'm thinking about like some sort of underwater thingy. Maybe we do one of those funky half underwater, half above water scenes. I don't really like those, to be honest. I painted a few of them. Where you do this, and then you do like this part is underwater. You guys know what I'm talking about? This part's underwater, and then this part is above water, but you can see underwater, so you could see, like, fish swimming and stuff. Obviously, that doesn't look right, but... Okay. What do I want to do? I kind of like the Aztec, Mayan kind of vibes. I guess it's more Aztec, I think. Where you have, like, the shapes on the roof. I'm not actually going to draw them all because that's not at the stage of the painting. But I kind of like that for, like, underwater. I think there was actually a Magic the Gathering set that was kind of based on that. No, let's see. No, it wasn't. It was a Netflix show. Was it? I think it was a Netflix show. I think I've talked about this show, and I can't remember what it was called, because I don't even think I watched it all, because it wasn't really that great. But the premise was really cool. It was sort of like an Atlantis kind of vibe, where there's like a long-lost civilization underwater, and they're like mer people, or merfolk. Mermaids, mermen, that kind of thing. Fish people, basically. And I kind of forget, but it was based on South American lore, or like, I don't know exactly, but it wasn't. There was some sort of mythology that it's based on, and I don't actually know which mythology it is, but it was kind of cool. I always like that stuff. But yeah, hopefully stream's not dying for anyone else. No, it's not. I don't think so. I think my stream's good. I think it's working. I don't like that. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to try to make this more monumental. Or colossal. Large in scale. It's been fine for you? Okay, perfect. So yeah, I'm just going to sketch some sort of guidelines and just... Stream's good for me? Ah, that's good. Good to know, Zabel. Also, hello, Zabel. And Yessa. I don't know. I think I said hi to Yessa. And anyone else who's lurking. Hope you're doing well today. I don't know if I like this thing being here. Also, it doesn't feel like it's in the water, which is fine. But this angle is really bad for the water. It's cooler and more dramatic. And I don't think I want to do, like, low-angle water, right? Because if I do something like this, that just makes it... I don't know, that's boring. And we could do that with, like, water splashing up here. And this could be in the middle of the ocean. I don't think that's a fun way to depict it, though. I think that's boring. And obviously this isn't what the ocean would look like, but just bear with me. Could do something like that. I don't think that's what I want to do. I think that's boring. I think I mean, I don't know. On the other hand, this could work in that we could show... We could show something like stairs. I know I use the lasso tool a lot. I probably shouldn't for these streams. I don't know. I don't think it's as... Maybe people... I don't know. I think it's not as fun to watch. Because it doesn't feel like painting. It feels like weird digital magic. I know somebody's going to be like, what are you talking about? But I think for people who are more interested in painting, it doesn't feel like painting. You know what I mean? There's definitely digital tools for me that do not feel like painting. If you use a ton of overlay layers or weird edits, again, there's nothing wrong with any of that. But something about Lasso Tool, I could just see that visually it's not, I don't know, I could see it being weird. No, I'm not saying they shouldn't use, no, Sarah, you misunderstand. I'm not saying people shouldn't use Lasso Tool. I'm saying I think on as a live stream when people are watching, I don't know. I don't know. I could see it like it's the same way when you get into like doing 3D modeling. For me, I lose interest, right? I'm very much of the mind of like I try to sort of do the things that I think are interesting to watch. I know you're not. I know you're mostly lurking. Most people are mostly lurking. Joe, I'm gonna be 100% honest. I'm not actually watching your stream 80% of the time. I'm listening and looking at my work screen. Hello. Yeah, no, I understand. You've got things that you're doing. But yeah, no, I'm just saying that, like, so when I'm talking about my stream, I typically think about the things that, what is interesting to some degree for me, like what kinds of things. Maybe it doesn't have to be like what do I think I would want to know in this current moment, but it's sort of historically what kinds of streams and type of stuff do I find interesting, and those might be the things that I'm gonna let that a little bit guide what I do on stream. A little bit, right? Obviously I still want to do the stuff I want to do, but if there's two things that are equally interesting, I'm gonna pick the one that is, I think, gonna be more interesting for other people. And I feel like Lasso Tool is one of those things where it can get very less painter. I don't know. But yeah, you're not right. It's like saying a traditional painter shouldn't use a palette knife for painting streams. No, I'm not saying shouldn't. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying they shouldn't do it. Or maybe they shouldn't. Maybe palette knives are just bad. Just kidding. This just in, palette knives. Straight to art jail. This doesn't feel like the way that I want it to. Maybe we get a little bit more. This. I'm trying to think, like, this could go underwater. You're right, they can, but you can't. Yes, exactly. Palette knives are canceled. Pack it up, gang. Yep, probably nobody has it going. See, you got it. No, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird. I just feel like when I'm painting, there are certain things you could do. For example, like flipping the canvas, right? Nothing wrong with flipping the canvas. Flipping the canvas is good. But for a viewer's experience, there's definitely an argument to be made to not overdo it, right? To sort of limit how often I do it. And I think the same argument can be made with and if you agree with that, and the reason for you might be obvious for flipping the canvas, right? Maybe it makes you dizzy, maybe all sorts of reasons. The reason almost doesn't matter. Whether or not you understand the reason doesn't matter. But I do think palette knives, or sort of a lot of like menu clicking and technical, like using the program sort of to its fullest, which again is a good thing to do, but in a stream it can make it less easy to follow what you're doing, right? If you've never seen digital painting before, you're like, what are you doing? What is this kind of weird wizardry you're doing? You're drawing a thing. Yeah, motion sickness if flipping happens. Yeah, but I think it's also just a understanding what's happening, right? Sort of being able to follow it without having it explained to you. And I think that's where certain tools in digital can sort of lose an audience, because it's not intuitive like painting is, right? A lot of painting I think is pretty intuitive. You put a color on your brush, and then you put the brush on the canvas. I think once you start doing things that don't really have a... I mean, I guess Lasso Tool does have an analog in real life, but I guess it's an opportunity to talk about what you're doing. Yeah, exactly. For sure. Yeah, I mean, it's just a selection tool. It's not that complicated. Yeah, it's like masking tape, but faster. Yeah, you're just making a selection, and then you're painting inside or outside of the selection, depending on what you want to do. In this case, it would be painting inside the selection, or I can hit a hotkey, and then I can paint outside the selection. Jed talk, true. Explaining what lasso tool is. You know those YouTube videos where they're like, how do you pronounce the word, and then it'll say a word, like the word epitome, and then it'll just say the word, and it'll be a person saying the word, and then the video will end. That's literally the entire video. Do you know those videos? There are literally YouTube videos. This is before the day of AI. This is people would make videos pronouncing every word. Just so you would know how to pronounce it. I feel like you could do that, where this is the lasso tool. You press L to default hotkey for the lasso tool. You can make a selection. You can paint inside of the selection. Or you can paint outside of the selection. That's it. Video over. Just the most, 30-second tutorial videos. You can still find those? Yeah, they exist. 30-second tutorial videos just on literally everything. This is how you click the window button in your screen. You navigate to the top of your bar and click the button. I found a troll once, it was funny, where intentionally mispronounced words wrong before saying it right. That's funny. Tutorials for the most random crap that nobody would ever need a tutorial for. I mean, they exist, right? How do you click the start button on your computer? Click on the bottom corner the button that says start. Stuff like that. That's how you find the start button. It's okay, great, thanks. I mean, I don't know why there's a tutorial on it, but I guess somebody might need to know that. I kind of like this murky green. Like we're looking under the water a little bit. Like a tutorial on drinking water. Exactly, right? Yeah. Lift the cup to your mouth. Take sip of water. Don't forget to swallow. And then it's that's it. I'm sure this exists. I'm sure there are the most, the mundane tutorial channel or something. Delivered in a completely deadpan voice. I would actually learn stuff if every feature of Clip Studio had a 30-second tutorial. Yeah, but the problem is that those kinds of tutorials would never tell you all the use cases for that thing. So knowing that something exists and how to use it doesn't really tell you how to use it. That's like a tutorial on color by telling you how to pick a color, and then you put the color on the canvas. Great, but how do you pick colors, right? Or how do I pick colors? How do I decide what colors to pick? That's not those aren't really the same thing. Hold on. Sarah says, here are some things in Photoshop that are so freaking easy, but if you don't know they're there, you'll spend 20 minutes trying to find an article that actually tells you where the tool is. Yeah, like a preview pattern. Easiest thing in the world, but it took me forever to find when I forgot what it was called. True. You're lucky I have almost 90k points. Oh, rant. Yes. You know what? Okay. Hold on, let's move. Fine. For some reason, it's not showing on my window thing. There we go. Ranting. Now that the ranting is done, it's over. I have nothing to rant about anymore. Also, let's put some of this bright color in here. I like that color palette. It feels Arctic. Deep blue. Yeah, I don't know why. Something about my OBS is broken. You redeemed it 5 times? Wait, 5 times today? Oh, you did. What the heck? Yeah, you got... Okay, dang. Yeah, I love how your head is offset from the legs. Yeah, yeah. I didn't used to be. Hold up. It didn't always be like that. What happened? What changed? I don't know if that's better or worse. Do you... I'm laughing while I move it. I feel like it shouldn't be. There. Now the head is did your camera get bumped? Probably. I probably shifted things around. That is kind of funny. Yeah, trying to move with a mouse while you're laughing and it makes the mouse wiggle around and that you can't move things straight is pretty funny. Perfect. 10 out of 10, right? I know. It's top tier, what do you call it? Stream overlay. But yeah, I'm just playing around with colors right now if anyone's curious what I'm doing. Trying to make some icy structures. Just playing around with color, playing around with really nothing in particular. I don't know if I want, like, actual ice, though. Might just be water. I mean, we could do it on top of an iceberg. We could do that. And I realize how bright this is. See, I just did the lasso tool magic again. Where I first colored inside the selection and then outside the selection. Literal sorcery. I realize how bad this looks right now, by the way. For anyone watching. And if you're lurking, it looks amazing. Absolutely perfection. But you can't see it because you're lurking, so so you'll have to trust me. But if you are watching, then yeah, you know, work in progress. Trust the process, all that stuff. I think it looks kind of cool so far. I mean, it's just blobs. Also, but I appreciate it. Thanks for the kind words of encouragement. I'm just putting random colors down. Lobbing in some textures now. Gonna play around with this brush. Was it you who sent me this brush? I can't remember. Was it you who? You... I didn't mean to say it. It sounds funny. Was it you who sent me this brush? I think it might have been you. No, this was a Zach Rest brush, wasn't it? Oil Zero? I can't remember. You sent me these brushes. You sent me this brush, which actually kind of has a neat icy pattern, almost. It looks like an icy rock. Look at that texture. And then you also sent me this brush. Oh, it makes the screen too small. Okay, we need another redeem for... Yeah, we need another redeem for for what is it? For to take the Jed Talk off of the screen. But yeah, no, these colors are kind of neat, actually. You genuinely don't remember how you made the streaky dry brush? Yeah. I forget, too. I have brushes where at some point I made them, but I honestly couldn't tell you what I did. I just mostly fiddled with settings until I thought it looked cool. And then I don't use them anymore because most of them, I don't think they look that cool. This brush is kind of fun. Okay, whatever I'm painting, though, is not fun. By not fun, I mean not looking good. I like some of this stuff, though. The color jitter is wild, though. It is so out of control on this brush. Howdy! Neck in the clouds. How's it going? Yeah, I don't know what I'm painting, but it's a mess. It's kind of fun, though. Just very abstract, big blobs. At some point, I'm gonna have an idea, and I'm gonna lean into it. And I'm gonna make the idea not suck, hopefully. Creating a good brush is indistinguishable from magic. Albert Einstein. Yeah, he said that. I believe that is exactly the quote. Neck in the Cloud says, trying to decide about drawing or riding the exercise bike. Do both. I might get crazy and do both at the same time. Yes, exactly. Sarah says, I saw a Nathan Fowkes vid on his process today, and he also starts with blobs. It's the best way. I mean, it depends. It definitely depends on what you're doing. But I will say, having done this for a bit, not as well as Nathan Fowkes, obviously. That didn't need to be said, but I decided to say it anyway. There are lots of different ways to start, and having done this for a while with lots of different of those ways, I do think it kind of, depending on what your starting conditions are, so like let's say you know that you're gonna sketch something very specific, versus maybe you don't know what you're gonna sketch. Obviously what I'm doing works quite well if you don't know what you're gonna sketch, but even if you do know what you're gonna sketch, you can still start very blobby. But you can start with things like color and sort of like an underpainting, and you can start with a variety of textures, and then you can sculpt out what you do want to paint, right? So even if you're not exploring shapes, you can still explore colors and textures. Druff says, how do you arrive at such clean pieces then? It's speaking of magic, Sarah also paints like magic or something. I don't know. I actually don't know how people keep their paintings so dang clean. I guess just a lot of hard edge brushes, right? And so you don't get those feathery shapes, and then lots of precision. Sarah says, I guess maybe what I consider messy isn't messy to some people. Maybe. I will say the only time I start really rough is with photo studies. Most of your original pieces, you work more cleanly. Most of your original pieces, you work more. Gotcha. Oh, that's so interesting. I think I'm the opposite. Because with a photo, you know exactly what, like... See, this is where I think Nathan Fowkes is probably closer to how you paint, right? Where I think when he's painting from life or from a photo, he starts very, very blobby and loose. Whereas I have a harder time doing that, because if I know exactly what I want to paint, it's harder. But if I don't know what I'm going to paint, starting loose makes a ton of sense, because that chaos can help you come up with ideas. Now, I'm not terrible at starting blobby when it from photos or anything, but it's certainly not as easy. Yeah, that's really interesting though. Sarah says, like this piece. This is an amazing piece, by the way. Sarah says, like this piece, probably the messiest I get. Yeah, but you still have super... Yeah, look at these super clean edges, though. It looks so good. Like, you have all of the in-focus stuff, all the crisp edges, which makes it look clean, right? I think that's the thing, is it looks clean even if it's, like, quote-unquote messy, because the edges are so clean. I mean, I would say up here, though, it looks, you know, obviously there's more messiness. Whereas, like, in the middle and kind of this cup, and I think it's good. Yeah, you did a good job here. I think having contrast between hard and soft edges is what really is what I rely on to make things feel finished. Gotcha. Yeah, that looks good. Nice work. Edge control is one of the big things Tiffany Meng talks about. I know that name, but I don't know who she is. I think I've seen her stuff at some point on... I know she does content creation. Edges are important. Okay, I don't know... I still don't know what I'm painting. But I have some... I'm gonna Google something. Hopefully this doesn't make my screen lag. I'm looking up some iceberg references. Just stuff with some of it for the color, but also to see how, when you have a large iceberg, how is the water shown? In a way of making it feel like this kind of thing. I'm just trying to look at some of the water, because I don't know if I want the colors get really crazy as they come back up. I could look at those videos of yeah, I think I'm gonna try to finish up some of the DEJ, I don't remember what that is, 2026 stuff that I couldn't finish on time due to traveling. Yeah, no, iceberg, the ice can get very vivid blue. It's quite neat. If that's what you're talking about. Okay. I'm still just gonna play with colors. Draw everything June in a Dorka Stock challenge. Gotcha. Dorcastock. That's a word. If I keep making brushstrokes, eventually I'll get to one that looks nice. Just rolling the dice here with this random brush Sarah made. Every brushstroke is different. Hopefully one of them will look good. No, I do like the super vivid blue water though. Kind of neat. Doofenshmirtz's long lost brother, a Dorcastock. Is that what you're saying? You can turn the color jitter down. I know, but it's fun. It's fun to have that randomness. Look at the difference between those two strokes, though. You got one stroke, which is like most of the time it's pretty consistent, but then you get one that's wild. It's just way out there in left field. They added gouache into drawing. What? What do you mean into drawing? What do you mean? Oh, the draw everything? I don't know how that works. Gotcha. Oh, gotcha. They added gotcha. I read that as gouache. Sorry, my eyes are going wonky. Been staring at my computer too long, and they're already starting to go out on me. Yeah, added gotcha into art. Yep, it's true. You roll the dice and just hope for a good outcome. It's that it satisfies that gambling itch. Yeah, I got it. I got it. I just didn't read it as gotcha at first. I read it as gouache. And I thought, who mentioned gouache? I may be a sucker for blind boxes now that I realize the little figures are actually like good quality ceramics and nice paint jobs. I have a little capybara and several Genshin sea creatures. They're so cute. Wait, oh, like IRL loot boxes. Is that what you're talking about? I know somebody who gets those. They're kind of neat. I don't know if you're actually talking about IRL boxes or in-game. You still gotta resonate with the theme aesthetic, though? Yeah, for sure. Yeah, IRL? Okay. Are those things regulated? Like, if they say there's a 10% chance to get something, is there actually a 10... Like, how... Can they just lie to you? Do you know how that works? I think in countries with gambling laws, they do have to stay pretty above board. Okay. Because, yeah, it definitely feels like you could... I mean, if you especially if you kept the odds low, like, oh, it's a 1 in 5 chance you get this. Somebody's like, I'll buy 20 of them, and for sure I'll get it, right? Right? And then you just don't get it because it's not actually 1 in 5. And then it makes people spend a bunch more money because they want the thing. Like, that seems really potentially abusable. Okay, I don't know what I'm painting, but it's kind of fun. Just random shapes. No, not really random, I guess. I mean, they're pretty random, but I don't know. It's kind of neat. A little dark shape here. Have you heard of the game Unfair Flips? I have. I have heard of it. I saw someone do a speedrun of it. I mean, like, collectible cards are kind of the same thing, like Magic the Gathering and Pokemon. True. True. They are. They are similar, I guess. Yeah, that's a good point. Obviously, the premise of that game is you could win right away, but you could never win. Yeah. Infinity is a heck of a thing. Yeah. Well, as the game goes on, right, there's better ways to... You can make it slightly less unfair, right? Because isn't unfair, don't you win once you get 10 heads in a row or something? I forgot what the win condition is of that game. I think it's something like get 10 heads in a row and you win. But there's things that make it so that would never happen. Well, it's already hard. But you can increase the odds of a heads as the game goes on. It only goes up to like 70% or something. Yeah. Yeah. So theoretically, you could win the first 10 flips. Yep. Theoretically. Okay, I don't know what I'm painting, but it's kind of fun. The colors are weird. I think I need to take a break from this brush, though. Yeah, I mean, that's all the game... Well, yeah, the game... Like, the game has sort of a roguelite kind of mechanics where, like, as a shop and you can increase certain things. You can pay money. Every time you get, like, a heads, you can earn some amount of money, like 25 cents or something, and then you can spend that money to upgrade the rates of stuff. And it's sort of... You sort of make your flips better as the game goes on. It's very stupid. But it is funny. Imagine being someone who heard of it and how hard it was, and then winning in 10 flips and not recording it. Do you think it's more of an incremental than a roguelite? Okay, fair enough. But that's true, because I don't think the options are actually random, is it? But you do get choices, and the choices are probably not all equal. For people who are good at math, they probably make the better choices. I've never played the game, I never will. Yeah, I'm kind of having fun with this, to be honest. I don't know if I like what I'm painting, but it's kind of neat. Just painting some arches. From what I've learned from RCE, wait, that's the hallmark of an incremental genre. Gotcha. Let's see. The last incremental game I played was either Trimps or Leaf Blower Revolution. I can only watch so many incremental games before they all start to seem exactly the same. Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever watched any of them other than that game that you just mentioned. The Unfair Flips. They feel just kind of... I don't really get the point of them. I mean, I guess they're just probably like people's first games, right? Games people make for fun because they're learning how to make games. And... No, Sarah. Clicker incrementals definitely have very few standouts, but Candy's Candy Box was... by Anyway was pretty amazing. Never heard of that game. Just trying to make shapes that are interesting. It's kind of what I'm doing. Using the dark blue as the dark color. Oh, it's kind of fun. Don't quite know what I'm doing. Also, don't know what the foreground is yet. It could be water. Could put some water here. Some icy bergs. Bergs of ice. Could be something like that. Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is something. Trying to just make some shapes in the sky that point inward. Could go like that. Make little shapes here. I don't know if we want that. How about some icy cream? Yeah, I could do icy cream. French dev ASCII art game. It's an ASCII art game. That sounds not fun, but, you know, who am I to judge? ICLYLLR. I don't know what that means. This went over my head really quick. It started being something I can understand, and now I don't know what we're talking about. I got lost. But yeah, putting down random colors is fun. I mean, they're not totally random. There's a logic, and there's choices I'm making. Dumb pun on ASCII? Gotcha. It's okay. I always thought ASCII in my head. ASCII. I gotcha. Is that kind of where All the art is like text characters. Is that the kind? Yes, yes, yes. That's the. Yep, it's all like text characters. I always figured there were people who spell it out, but you never knew anyone. Now you do. Now you know. Sarah has always said it. ASCII. No, I don't even know if that's true, but it is funny to think about. I don't know if I've ever talked about ASCII art. Okay, so here's just a standard thing, but this was fun to play with colors. I mean, by standard thing, I mean not standard. By standard, I mean not standard. The colors are very wacky. That's what I'll say about this. I do like the wacky colors. Oh, there's a redeem. 5-minute thumbnail redeem. The colors look fun. Thanks. I think they are fun. Alrighty. Let's do a 5-minute thumbnail sketch. 5-minute doodle. Okay, good blobs. Good blobbing. Let's turn on the timer and do some more blobbing. Hold on. Let's see. Where's the timer? Right here. What exactly does wacky mean? Zany. Wild, crazy, zany, wacky, goofy. What are other synonyms of wacky? A little all over the place. Is that a good thing? Yeah, it can be a good thing. Wacky can be a good thing. It's not like a... Yeah, generally, if something is a little wacky, I don't think people would say... I mean, I guess you could say wacky in a negative context, but no, I think... Like, I would say... I don't... Is this true? But, like, I feel like the word unhinged is, like, wacky in the bad way. And wacky... Like, dude, your hair looks wacky. Probably not. But if you say this game is wacky, that's probably... Yeah, I feel like wacky... If I say that clown is wacky, well, that's just factual. Yeah, I feel like clowns are supposed to be wacky, right? Yeah, no, wacky is a weird word. The more that I'm saying it, the less meaning it has. So pretty much funny. I mean, not funny as in a comical sense. It's just a little bit out there. It's unusual, uncharacteristic. It's not normal in the most standard sense of the word normal. Again, not normal isn't a bad thing, but it's unusual. Yeah, it's out of the ordinary in a... Like, for example, if I saw a... I don't know, a horse walking down the street, that would be unusual, because I don't see horses walking down the street. But if I saw a pink horse walking down the street, that's a little wacky, right? That's out of the usual in a slightly more bizarre way, right? Like, okay, did somebody paint their horse pink? Like, what's happening? Why is there a pink horse, right? That's not just, oh, that is unusual to see. It's a little like, yeah, right? Anyway, and so like these colors are just a little bit out there, I thought. Anyway, maybe not. Maybe it's not. Okay, let's do a 5-minute sketch. Let's turn on that. Insane is like a step up from wacky. Yeah, well, I think insane. I feel like insane is overused so much that it's sort of lost the meaning. Kind of. In some contexts, I think insane has gone a step down from wacky. But I think you're right. I think generally speaking, insane should be a step up from wacky. Like all things considered, I think wacky is pretty mild. Like if something is so crazy and out there that it's like harming people or upsetting people, like disrupting people's days, that is probably not wacky. Wacky I think the word wacky conveys a sort of sense of unimportance. Like it's just goofy for goofy's sake. Like it's not gonna affect people's lives in a way that is I don't know, like extremely negative or something. Where something insane might actually, like, you will not believe what happened today, right? That's absolutely insane. Wacky usually has a slight air of endearment to it, yeah. Even if you're insulting someone's hair, yeah. Goofy feels kind of negative. Goofy, I don't know, like, children can be goofy in a fun and endearing way. Anyway, I like how today we are talking about what words mean. And now we're playing bagpipe music, perfectly fitting for the conversation about wacky words. Bagpipes are great. Goofy feels like silly goose. Yep, exactly. Agreed. 5-minute thumbnail. Let's bust out this brush. I haven't been enjoying this brush lately. It's a lot of fun. Especially with muted tones where you get these really... You get colorful stuff in there. Goofy can be playful, but if it's being presented in AAVE, then it's probably leaning negative. I don't know what AAVE is. A very aggressive something. I don't know. What is that? I don't know that word. Oh, African American vernacular. English. Okay. I don't know why I didn't know the term for that. Right now, I'm using the lasso tool to make shapes. And then these shapes are going to be light. But slapping light on things is fun. Now we're gonna go to our regular brush. Making shapes. What am I painting? I don't know. More ruins? More ruins. All sorts of ruins. Ruins for days. What if we take this and go very blue? And then some lightish blue back here. Also, how much time left? 1 minute and 48 left for this sketch. This blobby sketch. Don't like that shape. There's no substance. What am I doing? Little characters. Very blobby. $50 left for my blobs to be less blobby. Don't know what the music is, by the way. It's something. $19 left. Looks like a fun 5-minute sketch. Yeah, it's pretty okay. Time's up. It sure is. Okay, there we go. Time's up. We're actually gonna stick to it that time. I like where that went for 5 minutes. I mean, I don't really know what the stuff in the background is, but I think it works. I mean, I don't know what any of this stuff is, to be honest. It's kind of fun, though. Fun little exercises to just blob around. Blob around, you know? Good foundation. Yeah, it's something. It's something to, you know, some blobs. it's something. I like this this grayish brown. It's nice. And we're just painting this blobbing. You still love me if I were. Wasn't there like a whole thing about that where people would ask them like, would you like still love me if I were a worm, or like what kind of question is that? Like why would it... Isn't that what that whole meme was? I don't even know if you call that a meme. Like a dumb TikTok trend? Was that like an actual thing people did? I always thought those were dumb. Maybe that's the point. I feel like it's sort of always a bit of rage bait of just like, how stupid is that? But then people genuinely would ask that or something. I don't really know what the... I don't really understand it, to be honest. Okay. The actual question is dumb, but it became funny. Yeah, I feel like weren't there some people who genuinely got upset at their partners when their partners didn't answer it the way they were expecting or something? And it's like, okay, you asked a stupid question, you got a stupid answer, and now you're upset. Like, why are you? Why? What is happening? I don't want a blue sky. I want green. Ooh, that's lime. That's a lot of green. No, nope. We don't want that green. Let's sup Stilla. Cringy popsicle. How's it going? What is sup with you? Sketching in some eyeline. Amazing stuff as usual. Yeah, we're blobbing. We are blobbing today. I'm kind of so I might I don't think I'm gonna work on this today. I might work on something for here if I can come up with some sort of interesting color palette or idea for a water scene. But mostly I'm just hanging out. I'm happy to talk about art stuff, and if anyone has any art questions, I'd talk about art answers. I was gonna say I'd answer them, but I don't know if I will. Those are great. I do not dream of labor, I dream of blobbing. Yeah. Exactly. Blobbing is a lifestyle. It's not just an art thing. You do not have to be an artist to embrace the blob. Doing goo. Doing goo. Welcome to Blob Gang. Yeah, exactly. Blob Gang, rise up. How can we help initiate our new member? I don't know. I don't... You can figure it out. If anyone has any ideas... Is this the stream where our identity becomes blobs, and when we raid people, we do have some sort of raid call about blobbing? It's blobbing time. What's that movie that sparked the whole like cringy popsicle, thank you for the sub. I appreciate it. You have been initiated as a member of the blob. Thank you so much. Welcome to Blob Community. Now, wasn't there that movie that didn't do very well called Morbius? And then people were like, it's Morbin time. I don't think he actually ever said it's Morbin time, but I feel like that it's Blobbin time. It's kind of like that. Morbius didn't actually... He morbed all over the place. Yeah, I don't think he actually ever said it's Morbin time, right? That was just a thing people said, and because the movie was not very good, it kind of sounded believable or something. I don't actually know how the story came about. Or how that phrase stuck around. I just think it's funny. It's Morbin time. I'll admit, I didn't hate Morbius. I might be the only person. I genuinely didn't hate it, and it actually felt, in some ways, because I wasn't familiar with the superhero or the character. Or is he a super villain or an anti-villain? I don't know what you call it. I wasn't familiar with him, and so I will admit I kind of liked it. I sort of liked Morbius. I might be the one person. Matt Smith, the Doctor? Matt Smith, the 12th Doctor? Is that who Matt Smith is? Wait, who's Matt Smith? Maybe I don't know who Matt Smith is. Wait, Matt Smith. Who? Am I thinking of who do I know who that is? I'm sad to say the Odyssey wasn't good. Bad writing, bad acting. I actually, you're the first person I've heard talk about it who said anything bad about it. I've only heard good things about the Odyssey. Which, I'll admit, it sounds extremely unexciting. But only because I don't know the original story, and I only associate it with the thing that you were supposed to read in high school, but I never did. It probably is. I don't know. Yeah, I don't really have an interest in seeing it either, Sarah, but yeah, I've only heard good things about it. I'm basically just lasso tool painting today. Not for any particular reason. Just because. I'm gonna go super nope, not. I was gonna say we're gonna go super saturated, and then I went really saturated. I'm like, that was too saturated. We are going wacky with colors today. More wacky than I normally go. But yeah, what's everybody doing art-wise? I assume Sarah's working, or pretending to work. But actually just chatting. And what Neck in the Clouds and Cringy Popsicle, what are y'all up to? Are you painting, working, pretending to work? Been working on your manga. Okay, nice. So when you people who do manga or write manga, do you know the whole story ahead of time and then it's just a matter of illustrating it? Or do you write and illustrate at more or less the same time? What's that process look like? And I'm sure that different people have different processes. Pretending, how dare you? Yeah, exactly. I'm painting out backgrounds for mobile iPad still. Nice. I think by the end of today... No, actually, I was going to say, I think I'm going to have 100%ed Zuminos. That's not true. I still don't have all the achievements on Steam. One of them is absurd, and I don't know if I'll ever get it, because it honestly just sounds tedious, and it's not even a challenge. It's just literal tedium. It's the win a game with every animal. Like, that's just a matter of spamming normal games and playing the worst units you can. That one I don't think I will ever get the achievement on Steam. I just can't see myself. And also there's no tracker as far as I know in Zuminos. I don't think there's a tracker for which animals you've beaten the game with. So once you get oh, that's cool. So I've been playing a game called Zuminos. It's the game Sarah's actually working on, but it's completely addicting, and I'm not just saying that because she's working on it, but because it's genuinely an addicting game, and yeah, I've put in so many hours, and it only came out like a week and a half ago or something. To be clear, the animals just have to be... Oh, really? I didn't know that. Okay, I didn't know that. That makes it easier. Wait, really? Because I think it said that I've only have like 32 of the 200. There's no way I've only had 32 of the animals in my winning decks. There's no way. That can't be right. Surely that is not Correct. But maybe I will have to do some testing. I can't be that unvaried of a player. Granted, most of the decks are only like 10 or to 20 cards at a time. But yeah, so Zuminos is the game that we're talking about, and it's like a deck builder roguelite game. Should be fixing. Okay, maybe I'll wait for that. Rookie numbers. Yeah, no, yeah. But no, it's a very fun game. I am excited to see what the future of the game holds in terms of like updates and all that. Yeah, I've never gotten Infinity. I know I haven't gone for it though. I've never really played past day 28 because then I just move on. Like once I beat the challenge or whatever that I'm going for, then I typically move on. So yeah, I haven't been doing those. Which honestly, I think doing the infinity challenges and that kind of thing, I actually think that would be something that would make me much better at doing the daily challenges, because I don't think I fully understand all of the interactions that make for some super in-depth like high scoring combos and stuff, especially in like the mid to late game where like your deck is kind of half crappy, but like maybe you can still utilize certain animals that you wouldn't generally want in your late game deck. Still can't believe Wolf got cut. We have 0 canines in the game. Oh, that's interesting. At least we have foxes. Oh, really? I didn't even think about that. Literally 0 canines. Huh. Interesting. That's a good point. I never thought about that. Oh, a corgi? Not having a corgi is criminal, actually. Although, I do think some of the animals are, especially like the cute small animals, there's kind of already that niche, right? With like the phoenix and the fennec, or whatever you call it. Like there's already kind of the niche of like the cute innocent animal. And so the cute corgi feels like it kind of fills that niche. Would it be the same? Did you know, for me, the cat was literally the last animal I unlocked because I had never played that particular zookeeper. That was the last zookeeper I played. I don't remember which zookeeper it is anymore, but it's... Anyway. Yeah. Okay, I'll stop talking about Zuminos because not everyone can relate. But it is a great game. You're a dog lover? We hate... Yeah, it just feels like we hate dog lovers. LOL. Cat is one of my favorite art. It turned out cute. I thought it was cute. That's the big-eyed cat, right? It is cute. What do you do off stream? I haven't been here a long time, but years ago I remember you having a part-time job. I do, yeah. Oh, for work? Yeah, but that's not... I don't like talking about that because it's unexciting and not important. It's not an important part of my life. Yes, I do have a part-time job unrelated to art. It helps me pay my rent and afford to stream and do stuff that is not... yeah. Lately I've been playing a lot of games. But yeah, what do I do off stream? Not a lot. I mean, off when I'm not. I mean, between work and games and uh, art. What else do I do? I don't know. I'm not. I'm not that interesting. I don't have that much stuff going on. I'll be honest. I need to do more IRL drawing though. That's something I would like to do. Asking those difficult personal questions. Brother, if more people felt like their job was an important part of their life, the world would be in a much better place. I mean, I would like my job to be an important part of my life, but my current job just isn't. Any good shows you watched lately? Oh, not really. I was watching no, not really. Oh, no, actually, yes, I did just watch a good show. It's on Netflix. It's called The Residents. I thought it was good. It's like a murder mystery. Sort of Clue-esque. It's sort of Knives Out, Clue-esque. And it's a series. It's a 8-episode, I can't speak. 8-episode series. Yeah, sort of like a, big cast of people. It has a really fun way of storytelling that I think is extremely refreshing to see, and the humor is great. Fun editing. It's just a fun show. Yeah, that was the last thing I watched. I thought it was really good. It's kind of a whodunit, but with a really fun cast of characters, and yeah. Sarah says you watched that a few months ago. I didn't realize it was that old. I thought it was overall good, except the part where every episode they stop to re-explain what just happened, probably because Netflix forced them to. Yeah, there was a little bit. Sometimes it was a little redundant. But I think overall it was very good, and I think even just saying that, and since we haven't really said anything else about the show, that makes it sound not good, but it genuinely is a good watch. I think it's worth watching. Also, these values are whack. By whack, I mean bad. They're out of whack. Not whack. Not to be confused with wacky. I don't know if you do this, Sarah, or anyone else, but I sometimes find myself, like, instead of, like, there will be something that I really enjoyed, but I don't like to get into super details about what I enjoyed, especially if it's to an audience who hasn't seen it. And so I end up just saying what I don't like about it, which then makes it sound not as good, because I'm not hyping it up when I actually really liked it. And so I end up making the thing that I like sound really stupid, because I just point out all the issues. Or when I care a lot about something, right, I want to be critical of it because I want it to be the best it can be, and so I'll critique it and it'll make it sound even worse. I don't know, I have a way of making things that sound sucky. I have a knack for it. I would be really good at just writing negative reviews. It's not even negative reviews. It's like reviews of things that I genuinely like. And I think that happens with art as well when I'm talking about my own art. Instead of saying what I like, because if I like it, I'm just going to keep it and move on, right? But if I don't like it, that's the thing that I have to dwell on because it needs to be fixed. And so it can come off sounding negative. Although I don't think I sound too negative with my own art. Lasso tool painting. That's what I'm doing right now. Lots of lasso tool. Little areas here, the brushes with the overgrown. Now, I don't think all of these need the overgrown. I should probably put more right here, because that's almost the focal point, right? It's this little main area, this main walk. I mean, it's not really a focal point, but it's sort of this main walkway. In fact, we could probably do something like this. Which gets us in there a little bit more, makes it a more interesting shape. Constructive criticism? Yeah. Yeah, but when you don't say the good stuff, and it does sound just more just like criticism, I guess, and not constructive. I don't know. I guess it can still be constructive. What is this down here? Water, perhaps? Could put some water. Little bits of shape. Oh, hydrate. Thanks for the hydrate redeem. I appreciate it. Okay, this painting is thing. So the values aren't very extreme, but I kind of like it still. Put some water in your gills. Something like that. Also, it still says time's up. Time is not up. Pretty. It's interesting. I don't know if this kind of painting should have a wider value range, because, like, part of me wants to ruin it. Not intentionally ruin it, but I wonder if one or some of the buildings that were different sizes. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, like if one of them was taller, like this size. I don't know why I'm painting with an overlay brush. Yeah, I think you're right. Especially like, you know what? Let's do it. Let's take that critique by Sarah and let's run with it. Now, do we do a central one like this one? Or do we do that one? I kind of think we might do this one. Uh-oh, I should... Oh, okay. Or do I want to do that one? I could do this one. But I also like that little gap there, so that makes it hard because I can bring this forward a bit. Yeah, that works better. Thanks. Don't thank me, thank Sarah. I mean, I know you didn't say thank. I mean, I don't know why I'm thinking. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Sarah's the one who deserves the. She art directed it. No, not really. She gave the advice of making the different sizes, which is immediately when upon saying that, you're like, yep, that's what needs to happen. You know. Sometimes it's just like, oh, no kidding. You know, like it sounds when it's one of those things where you get so in it and you don't even realize something, and then you hear the solution and you're like, oh, of course, like, yes, right? Like, I could have, sometimes somebody will say something like, I don't think so, you know, like, you've probably seen me say it on stream. Someone will say, what if you did this? And I'm like, not right now. But then sometimes someone's like, what if you just varied the sizes? I'm like, yes, that's the right call. Yeah, I mean, I still haven't done it well, but, you know, fair enough. I don't actually like the size of this right now. It doesn't actually look better. I mean, I don't know what's wrong with it. Something's still wrong with it. I think we do overlap this, but we can maybe overlap it with light. Yeah, I think we go way overlap. Like, way, way, way overlap. Second floor, like, as a jetty. I don't know what that means, but I think I can guess, because I think it's what this thing needs. Like that? I'm assuming like that. Oh, you meant the opposite. Okay, I didn't know what a jetty was, but okay, I see what you're saying. I just knew that you meant the silhouette went inward. Guess what book I learned? Probably the book that I haven't finished reading yet. I'm going to go out on a limb and say a jetty is when you have an upper part that jets out over the edge. So it would be like this. And this, oops, there would be an overhang here. Like that. Something like that. That's what I'm assuming it is. And then you'd have a top floor that's bigger than the other floor. But I did the opposite. I jetted inward. A reverse jetty. A not very jetty. Anyway, there's that. Let's blur the top here. I do like this. The colors are fun. Apparently it's also the name of a pier. I mean, I think that's the more standard definition of a jetty. I always thought a jetty was a thing. It's like a man-made structure that blocks water. How's it going, Ron? I bet Ron knows what a jetty is. So, as far as I know, if you have a river, let's say you have a river, this is the ocean. O-C-E-A-N. Let's say this is the ocean. To jetty is something different, like, right? But let's say this is the ocean, and you have a river that comes out, the mouth of a river that goes out to the ocean. Sometimes people will build out, let's do this. They'll build out the water like this, either on one side or on both sides, and I believe that's called a jetty. Right? So this will be like a rock structure. They'll build it out like this. And so you'll still have an ocean here, but it's so the river is not like I believe it stops this. I don't know exactly what the purpose is, but I believe it's for like stopping erosion and things out here. Rather than the water coming out into the ocean here, you build outward a bit, sort of keeping the river coming into the ocean. And it also, like, there will be water coming back up this way, but I think it's something, maybe that's not what a jetty is. Isn't that what that is? I think that's more or less what a jetty is. Also, I was on the wrong layer, and look what I did. These weren't lined up. It does prevent erosion and usually makes for a deeper, stable channel for boats. Gotcha. Okay, I didn't know that's... And then there's an art piece called The Spiral Jetty by some artist who, I don't know why I'm supposed to know this. And then to jettison, you could say you jettied something, which is like to shuttle it around, right? Is that not what... Maybe that's not what jetty means. I think you can to jetty... as a verb. What is jettying? Oh, here we go. Jetting. This is a building that is jettying. That's cool. Today I learned. Welcome to Blob Gang. Yeah, welcome Raiders. How's it going? We are rebranding. No, not really, but maybe. Blob Gang. No, welcome in Raiders. How are you? Ronald, what were you up to today? Share the art tax. If you guys don't know Ronald, he does world building, and he's sort of inspired this project in some ways. I just stole it from him. No, not really. But he has he's made maps and worlds and biomes, and he's been doing creature design and character design and environment design, all the designs for his world building project, and it's really cool. He's been doing it for many years, as far as I know. If you go into his Discord, he has just so much stuff that he has different channels for different biomes and different things, and each paintings he'll dump them in there as he paints them. So if he wants to paint like I don't know, something underwater, he could always have something, some sort of biome he could paint in. It's pretty cool. Ronald's great. Here's a creature design. Ron's been doing a lot of creature design lately. I'm just double checking to see if my stream is doing its weird thing. Doesn't appear to be, which is good. So working on our Fernlands. Got a lot done for our fern-based biome. Nice. Ooh, this is cool. I like the fern leaves on this. Skybreaker Amphitheater. It's a dragon of the Fernlands. That's fun. I love creature design like that's so cool. Any fern trees? I don't know. Wait, I didn't know ferns are trees. Are there fern trees? Is that a thing? Probably. I always thought they'd be more of shrubs, but what do I know? Apparently not much about ferns. Or jetties. Or jettying. There's a lot I don't know. The world is full of cool stuff to learn. So fern trees are technically cycads. Now, what's a cycad? Okay, anyway, we could just go on with that forever. But yeah, wait, did me sharing the art show it on screen? I think it did. No, it didn't. Here we go. Here's what Ronald was working on. Sorry, I was looking at it, but it wasn't on screen. This is what Ronald's been up to. Skybreaker Amphitheater. It's a creature design in a biome. He does a little, like, character card for it kind of thing. It's pretty cool. Ron's awesome. Thank you so much for the art tax, Ron. Nice art, Ron. Seriously, good art. Good stuff. As always. Yeah, we're just doodling. We've been working on a project, kind of, sort of, just on and off as we decide to. Whenever I paint an environment, not everything I do ends up being part of this. I'm not quite as strict with it as Ron is, but a lot of times when I paint environments, I'll add that little icon on the map. So, for example, if I have a scene like this, which I have not added the icon on yet, then I will go in here and I will sort of paint out the environment wherever it might be. So in this case, it would be over here. There would be these little rock structures. Maybe this one jets out. There. It's a jetty. It jets out. It's not a real jetty. But anyway, maybe those little structures are here. This is the rocky shoreline. And I would paint it here. Just a little icon kind of representing this terrain. And then, yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing. And obviously this one's not done, but yeah, just been sort of adding to it. Over time, it'll build up and I'll refine it. At some point, I might even, you know, upscale this, sort not upscale, but to make it larger, and then I'll have to go in and add details to everything. I don't think I'm going to do that, though. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how loose I keep it. But that's kind of what I've been working on. But today, we're just sketching. We're just sketching. Coming up with stuff from the old noggin, mostly. Blobbing. We're blobbing. That's what we're doing. Keeping things blobby. Always a pleasure sharing with your fine people. Yeah, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. Always a pleasure to have you bring your fine people over here, too. If I do say so myself. Okay, I'm just trying to... Sorry, I was just looking at my screen to see where I can see stuff. Down, down, down by the river. I don't know that song. It sounds like a song. I'm assuming it's a song. Shazham, how's it going? I'm really bad at knowing what song people are talking about when they get through text. I need more than text. But not... I'm not going to watch videos, so don't link me the video. It's the melody to that song that was playing. Oh, okay, gotcha. I didn't know that. From Baldur's Gate 3. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Are we still on Baldur's Gate soundtrack? I thought it was on shuffle, but maybe... What if we start with some... Okay, I've never done this before, but what if we do a glow dodge with our jitter brush? How bad? On a scale of 1 to bad, how bad is this gonna be? It's pretty bad. It's pretty unusable, actually. Ooh, there's a little bit of jitter in there. Hold up. Maybe there's something we can do with this. Maybe this isn't completely unusable. On a 7 of 1 to bad. It's pretty bad. No, it's not bad. It's actually nice. I like it. There's something fun. Yeah, it's a fun way to start with some color. This could be a big rock. Yeah, the colors are not bad. I don't know. I'm not sure what it is, if I'm being honest. Sometimes that's okay. Looks like shiny sand. It kind of does, yeah. Maybe we do that. Maybe we'll... I have an idea. You do the eye squint like Cynic's design. That's how we know you're a master. No, it's more because my eyes are. I do the squinty eyes. I don't think I'm a master, but I appreciate the kind words. I don't like those titles. I definitely am not a master, but I do what I do, I guess. I don't think you get to... Yeah, that's not... Don't say it to an Asian streamer. I mean... I think you can do that with your eyes regardless of the shape of your eyes or your eyelids. Can't wait for the color thumbnail masterclass from the real master has crap. Stop. I know it's a joke, but it's just like I don't even like to... I don't know how to respond to it because like I think if someone were to say that in private or something, I'd be like, whatever, like thanks man, but also like no. But on stream it's hard because like there might be someone here for the first time ever and someone's like, you're a master. I'm like, if I even pretend that that's not crazy, then it just feels like I'm coming off like a giant narcissist or something. Like, no, I'm not. I maybe one day that'd be cool, but also like I don't know how you can even... I don't know. Like, what kind of egomaniac is like, welcome to my masterclass? How can you do that? Like, even someone who is as good as, let's say Nathan Fowkes, because we brought him up today already. Does he, like, would he not feel a little weird calling his own class a master class? Like, even if other people call him a master, and even if we can all agree he's amazing, and maybe a master, whatever you want to define that as, you would still feel weird calling yourself that, surely. I don't understand how people can do that. I cannot see a world, even if at some point everyone else considered me amazing and a master or whatever, I still don't think in something like art I could ever do that. Now, maybe in something like chess, right? Because there's literally a title, Grandmaster. So pretty much by definition, if you are putting on a class that is for other people at your skill level, then that is a master class, right? Like pretty much by definition, because you would be a master, and that's a rating, right? Whatever. But in art, that's just a weird thing. OMG, Grandmaster Artist? No, I'm not saying that we should not have ELO rankings for art. How would that even work? Can you imagine? Oh, I'm a 3000 ELO rated artist. Sorry, everybody. I got demoted. I got art demotion. No longer high rated. I've lost some elo. I made a few bad paintings. Can you imagine? Platinum ranked artist? That'd be pretty cool. No, it wouldn't. It would not be cool. 7 years used to be the point of being called a master. Masters in college is 7 years. I don't think it's really about time, though. And also, time spent doing art on your own is very different than being given incrementally increasing difficulty of assignments where the knowledge keeps on having to grow. It actually is a slight pet peeve of mine when people use the amount of time to do something to define, like, how good someone is at something. It's always been a little bit of a pet peeve. Like, yes, it's true that it's correlated with the amount of time you spend practicing something, especially if it's like actual practice, like deliberate practice. It's still correlated, but also different skills are going to have different barriers of entry. You could be a master in tic-tac-toe in 30 minutes. You could be a master in some niche thing that nobody has ever done simply because you are the best at there is. And like you would be pushing the skill limits, right? Of where humans are at that current time. No, the 10,000 hours is a thing sort of kind of butchered by Malcolm Gladwell, taken by Anders Ericsson and colleagues who did the original studies and on expertise using violin students. And they're finding it was not that it takes 10,000 hours to become a master. That is some garbage that Malcolm Gladwell popularized due to slightly a misconception and slightly just bad wording. And also I think he just ran with it because it's a catchy headline. But that's not what any of that ever said. So yeah, the 10,000 hour thing is not real. Not in any way that people pretend it is. But yes, it is true that if you do deliberate practice, it takes for certain things, particularly violin or anything that's very like a kind learning environment, meaning like golf or things where the rules are established. There is a metric, you can measure it, right? We know best practices for learning. There are some skills that take lots of hours, like the more the better, basically, is the rule. And it doesn't stop at 10,000. That's just where the study cut off, by the way. And also, those were all students. Even the quote-unquote masters. Yes, they were an elite academy in France or something for violin, and they were all very good in their own right. Even the ones, that who weren't as good, they were also very good. But they were all still very much students. So even the study that coined the term 10,000 hours was still only studying students. It wasn't even studying the actual pros. So anyway, that's... I could rant about the stupid 10,000 hour rule thing for a long time. But I will spare you the rant. Oh no, the browser froze. Well, when you're out, I will spare you the rant about my dislike of the stupid 10,000 hour rules and how, for some reason, artists in particular feel more... I don't know, they really like to spout that. Okay, yeah, no worries, you're back. Yeah, I was just going off on how much I dislike the stupid 10,000 hour rule thing, because it's not really... That's not a real thing. It's like, was a very narrow study, which is what the study was good. The original study was good. But it was taken by Malcolm Gladwell and used in a book, which I read. And I read the book by the author who actually did the study. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, so I was rambling when you were disconnected, but yes, it's from a I believe it's French Academy of Violins, only violin students, and it wasn't even saying that 10,000 hours is some magic number. It was literally just the cutoff of the study. It was Malcolm Gladwell who used it and made it sound like it takes at least 10,000 hours to become a master. But they were, first of all, they weren't even masters; they were literally still students, and also every domain is different, and also something like art, which is sort of a quote-unquote wicked environment as opposed to the kind environment, that's a term coined by someone else, who basically, there's a set metric of what it looks like to be a pro in performance of violin, not create. Anyway, I could go on. It's stupid. The 10,000 hour rule is not real. But yes, generally speaking, the more time you spend, the better you will get. Especially in something like playing music or making art or writing music or writing, right? Any of these things where there isn't really an upper limit. I mean, there kind of is, but like you could pretty much just keep getting better. Well, it figures it comes from misinterpreting of something from France. IQ is the same problem. Yeah, wasn't it the dude who literally coined the term IQ said this is not a measure of intelligence or something? Like, he literally said it should not... I forgot what his quote was, but it was like, this is not the thing that you are using it for, or whatever. Yeah, anyway, I don't know exactly about that story, but I do... Yeah, the Anders Ericsson study, I do know about. And it is the one that is sort of, well, actually it's not even him. People don't even know who did the original study. I mean, they do, like, but people who talk about the 10,000 hours rule are always quoting Malcolm Gladwell, which is because he's popularized it, but he basically butchered the actual study. Anyway, it makes me angry, kind of, because it's... But I think the actual point that Malcolm Gladwell is making in the 10,000 hour sort of rule in that example, it really wasn't that it takes 10,000 hours to become a master. That wasn't actually his point, even though that's still the point that people took away, which is why I think it's mostly just sloppy writing. But either way, the point was that it takes a long time to become really good, and it's a big number. It's not a small number, right? Generally speaking, you keep improving. And it's not like, oh, you just go and learn from the good people and you should get good overnight. The whole point was that it's not like if you have some predestination, some predetermined talent that suddenly you'll just be good at it. That's not how that works, right? Even the best of the best put in a ludicrous amount of time to become good before they know if they're, the bottom of their elite class or the top of their elite class. Either way, they get very, very, very good, but it doesn't really matter if you were good as a kid or not, because you suck compared to where you're gonna be. And so a lot of it was more of a refutation of sort of the idea that you need natural talent. Where did my art go? Oh, I flipped my canvas in it. So anyway, that's a thing. Nadaski, hello! Nice long fish. Is that a fish? What kind of animal is that? A noodle cat with a tail or fish. Yeah, it's a fun emote. I like it. But yeah, I hope everyone's doing well. I'm trying to figure out how to carve out this land here to make this look like stairs. Maybe there's some rocks here. Ooh, can we link art here? Yep, you can link art. Preferably your own. If chat gets a little too spammy with other random links without context, yeah, try to say, like, if it's not yours for sure, at least say in that same link, just say who made it or something. I don't know. Like, be clear. Don't just spam links to cool art or whatever without context. Here's a page I did perfect. That you did it 100% right. That's when people take note. When you want to post art, do that. Put the link and explain who it is and what the context is. That way you're not just dropping random crap. But yeah, this is awesome. I love this. Also, the doodles on the left. Nice pages. Super nice art. What the heck? It's crazy when you zoom in. Like the lines are quite intense. Because you don't vary your line weight, I've noticed. Like you do in the sense that you're artificially making your line weight thicker. That's really interesting. You have very interesting line work. Like, it looks, when you zoom out, it looks gorgeous, by the way. But it's very interesting that your lines are, you're basically just using a single width brush, it looks like. You don't like pen pressure. That's so bizarre. I mean, not in a bad way. It's just bizarre because it's so unusual. But it looks great. Like, the art looks fantastic. Also, you must paint on a crazy high resolution. Of course. I don't actually use pen pressure for size either, but then again, I don't do lines, so what do I know? Well, I don't use it for size of brush, right? So, for example, this is what my brush looks like. But I also vary the size constantly between stroke. So, for example, if I'll do, like, start out with a thick stroke and then I make it thinner as I go. I'm manually decreasing it. I like it for opacity. Wait, yeah, but if you look at Cringy Popsicles art, they're not using it for opacity either. Which is really interesting. And again, their art is great, so it's obviously it's working. Whatever they're doing is working. It's just quite interesting. It's just an observation that I'm noticing about it. Let's go in here and do like a reddish color. Not a lot of red, but just a little bit. In the shadows, in certain parts of the shadows. I'm gonna make some big old rocks here. Sort of supporting this whole thing. The pressure sensitivity wasn't working for me on draw pile while I've been drawing lately. Oh, interesting. Okay, we're gonna drop the saturation and we are gonna paint some dark rocks. I don't know how the rocks are going to work here, because the landform doesn't quite work. Spiral staircase in the sand. Probably, I don't know how this thing isn't, I don't know how that works. We could do contours here. Yeah, I don't know how this is gonna work, but we definitely need some contour stuff going on. I might end up ruining this, but that's okay. For science. Try and figure out how to work this. The image that was in the corner of the forest with the blue fog and branches, did you submit that to Chroma Core one year? In the corner. Blue fog and branches. I don't know. I don't think so. I did submit some stuff to Chroma Core one year, but I don't think anything in here in the corner. Speaking of the corner, I need to update that slideshow. Let me take a look. I don't think so. The only images that I ever submitted to Chroma Core. Well, I mean, I did a character thing, and I did actually a lot of art for Chroma Core, but I don't think any of that ever came in. Forest with the branches. The blue fog, like with the fairies? The one with the fairies? No, that wasn't Chroma Core. Or the one with the squirrels. The squirrel one right now? That one? Or the one with the cats right now? Also, that has fog. Chroma Core is going on right now? Yeah. But no, I haven't. I am not doing Chroma Core this year. And the squirrel? Okay, no, that wasn't Chroma Core. Squirrel wasn't Chroma Core. That was just a painting I did on stream. Trying to figure out how the rocks might work here. Getting sandy shapes on the rocks as these rocks stick up. Is Chroma Core like an art class? No, so it is it's kind of it's like a competition that Cynics hosts. I don't know if you know who Cynics is, but he's a YouTuber artist and with pretty big following. And what is it? Yeah, it's like a contest thing, but it's sort of themed around basically the way that it works is generally everybody who wants to enter will make a character design, and the character design is typically like pretty open-ended. You really don't have to have there's not even always a theme, but sometimes there is. It's pretty much just like an open-ended character design, and you're some sort of cadet is what they call it, because it's supposed to be some sort of intense like boot camp thing. But it's basically it's an entry into the Chroma Core, which is like I don't know, some sort of weird boot camp military thingy. Anyway, but you can pretty much have anything. It can be sci-fi, fantasy. Sometimes there's a theme. I think typically there's some sort of theme for the character design, kind of, but mostly it's very open-ended. And then once you sort of make it, if you make it, it's mostly a follow-along thing. But there's like sometimes between 16 and 64 or maybe more. People who do make it. But then for 30 days, it's like a battle royale elimination style kind of thing where every single day is a different prompt. So it's not just characters, but sometimes you have to use your character or other people's characters, or there's all sorts of things. So it's not really about your character, but that's just the entry. It's not even just characters though. It's environments, it's product design, it's vehicle design, it is graffiti. Yeah, it's kind of like a tournament. It's kind of a tournament, but most people who participate are just doing the follow along because they're not actually people who are in the thing. It's literally every single day. It is extremely stressful. Yeah, for sure. But mostly, there's like thousands. It's called Washout Alley. There's like 1,000+ people who participate in the daily prompts, even if they're not in the finalists. So like there was last year, I think, or the year before, I did every prompt that was an environment. So I wasn't actually in the running. I didn't have to do every single challenge, but the ones that seemed fun, I would participate. And then it's every day Cynics goes over and reviews them. But yeah, it lasts for like a month or more. I think one year lasted for more than a month because it was taking longer than expected to. Because I think it's like a 3 strike and you're out thing in the finals. So if there's, but he varies it depending on how many people are there because he doesn't want it to last forever. You can't really have 3 strikes and you're out in when you have 64 people. But if it's like top 16, then typically it's 3 strikes. It's teams now. Okay, I don't quite know the format this year, but yeah, it's pretty intense. And honestly, yeah, it seems fun. A long time ago, there was a shoe company that did a similar thing. I used to participate with the shoe gig and kept trying to land a shoe design. That does sound more sus. Yeah, that sounds like free labor. We want you to do all the work. Design the thing, pitch us the thing, tell us why. You know, tell our art directors why we need to design your shoe. And maybe we'll just only pick one of the thousands who enter. And then maybe you'll get a shoe made and we're just outsourcing the work, but we're not outsourcing it, you're just getting free labor. Yeah, that's sketchy. Yeah, that is sketchy. Okay, this is a mess, this painting. Do you do commissions? I do. Sometimes. Not constantly, but yeah, I will take commissions. I don't guarantee I will take every commission that comes my way. It's kind of a, if it feels like something I want to work on. You know, part of not completely relying on art as my income means that I'm not just going to jump it. I don't like to give the company all the power over me by being like, oh, I hear you need a job. I'm going to offer you a crap job and you're going to take it because because you're desperate and we have the upper hand. I don't like that. I like to be able to be like, nah, it's not working out. I don't like that. You know, I like to be able to decide if it's a job I want to take, basically. You got a scam commission email for the first time in a long time? Oh, I both hate it and love it, but I haven't gotten any in a while, but I just recently got one as well. I also got one that I saw. It was funny. The day I got it, I saw someone post about it on Instagram, and it was for like some weird. It wasn't even a commission. It was some weird fake business offer from AI company or something. But it was like trying to ask me. The wording was just awful, which is what tells you that like this is not real. But basically, wanting me to pay. I think they wanted me to pay them to make me Instagram reels. I'm like, no, I'm not paying for people to make me Instagram reels. This is stupid. But it was really, really dumb. The way they worded it was just so sloppy. I'm like, this feels like a scam. Probably is, but I will never find out. It could have just been really bad business people. But yeah, I did give them benefit of the doubt at first, just in case it was real, even though I was already sus. But the response they sent me confirmed it. Yeah. I think the last one that I responded to in earnest, well, not in earnest, it was completely fake, not the opposite of in earnest. Generally what I do is I first respond in earnest, but it is very much like getting some clarifying details that I know they won't be able to answer, or things like, you know, these are my payment methods, this is how you're going to pay me. And I'm like, if everything is, you know, if all this works, then we can move on. And there's always some, they'll try to squirm out of whatever terms and conditions I set. There's always like, well, I can't actually use Instagram because there's something going on, and so I have to use check. Like, nope, it's scam. Or, oh, actually, I'd prefer to pay with crypto if that's okay. I'm like, nope. And then they always say, and if you don't use crypto, it's okay. I can walk you through it. No. In fact, crypto's stupid, but even if I was going to take it, them walking me through it is exactly what the scam would be, because they would give me crap links to sign up. Anyway, that's not how that works. So yeah, basically, for those who don't know, I know Sarah knows this, but for those who don't, it doesn't matter if it's a scammer or not, because you should only work the way that you are willing to work, right? You should not be working in a way that allows you that where you're sending people money for stuff, or where you're doing free art before getting paid. Like, as long as you understand how to get paid with whatever service you're using, PayPal, Venmo, whatever you want to get paid in, it doesn't really matter. Heck, even if you want to get paid in crypto, knock yourself out. Just make sure you understand that method well enough that you're not getting scammed, right? Like, you just need to know how to do your process, whatever that is, right? Both on the art side and the payment side, without getting scammed. And when in doubt, pretend you're a grocery store, right? Pretend you're a grocery store, and when you go to pay, people are like, this is how you pay me. I take a Visa, I take whatever they take, right? Cash, whatever way they take, that's what they take. If you say, can I pay you with gummy bears? They'll be like, no, get out of here. We don't take that. Go back, find an ATM or whatever. And whatever ways they say, that's the only way they're going to do it. They won't barter with you and how they can get paid, right? That's not a thing you do as a customer at a grocery store. So if a customer comes to you, they are not the ones, will you take this weird app you've never heard of? No. That's not. Maybe you'll look into it, but certainly not right then. Like, you will get paid the way that you get paid, because that's the only way that you verified beforehand, right? Like, anyway, it pisses me off a little bit, because sometimes the answer to is this a scam, it doesn't matter. Because if you have an airtight process for don't work until you get paid, when you do work, lay out how your deliverables are going to be, make it so they don't really have a case against you if you don't do what you say you're going to do, right? Just do the thing that we agree on, then you're good. You'll get paid for it, and yeah. And if there's someone who is isn't willing to work with you, again, could just be a bad client. That's fine. Could just be someone who is setting random expectations and demands before they ever, if a client is giving you troubles before you even start, then maybe don't work with them. Anyway, Sarah says, have you seen that scam going around the last several months where someone DMs you, says that they reported your account and apologizes, and then tells you to contact Twitter support on Discord to fix it? Contact Twitter support on Discord. I haven't heard that, but also I'm going to assume that there is a Twitter support account on Discord that is not Twitter support, and then they will walk you through password resetting, and they will ask you all the information they need to reset to take your account, and then you'll give it to them, and then they'll actually take your account. I'm assuming that's the scam, but I don't actually know, because yeah, I don't know. But even if that, so that's another good, I like talking about scams. Yeah, Twitter would never send support to third-party site, no kidding. But that's another good thing. Even if they did, though, it would be you who finds the account and messages them, right? Now, obviously, there's probably a dozen fake Twitter support things. But if you ever wanted to contact Twitter support, you could literally open up a new browser page of your browser of choice, type in Twitter support, and then click probably the first link, or whatever link has www.twitter.whatever or x.whatever, right? Like, you don't let them tell you how you're going to do a thing that is basic, like contact support or contact your bank or contact Amazon or contact whatever, right? There's a lot of emails that I'll say, like, I've gotten ones where it's like an iPod whatever has been charged to your Amazon account. If this is not you, please contact support at, and then they give a link. Okay, well, even if it was real, I would still go to Amazon.com, sign in, and then see if there's any notifications for me on my account. You don't click the link that the potential scammers, provided you. Don't click the email link, because if that's not from them, like, it's easy enough to just go to your... Anyway, I'm very adamant about this because the amount of people who don't understand that concept, it doesn't matter if it's Amazon, it doesn't matter if it's your bank. If they tell you to call them at a number, or even if they call you, right, you can hang up and then call them back. Not from the same number they called you, but from the number you find online, right? Or from the number in the phone book or whatever. Do phone books exist anymore? I don't know. But don't let them be the one to tell you how things are going to work, right? Because once they're guiding you in the process, they're going to guide you right through the process of getting scammed, right? You have to be the one who says, no, we're going to do it this way. Now, that's obviously different if you contact them, right? If, for example, if I call up my bank and I find the number, right, and I'm the one to initiate the call, and my bank is like, we need your social security number. Well, I called them, so I can give them my social security number because I'm the one who decided that I needed to do this, right? Now, obviously, if I'm not okay giving away my social security number to my bank that I called, then I shouldn't. But there will be some things where, like, yes, maybe the information is... you still have to do it, but as long as you're the one to initiate that. Now, if it's you calling based because you got an email, and that email is telling you to call your bank, and then you call your bank, they're like, we need your social security number, don't give it to them, because that may not be your bank, because you didn't actually call your bank. You called a random number anyway. You'd be surprised the amount of people who don't understand sort of basic internet, like, I don't know what you're going to call it, internet protocol, internet navigating official channels, and letting people tell them to do things that are in completely a wrong way of doing it. Like, I don't know what you want to call that. There are a lot of official emails that require you to click links. Sometimes, that's true. There are. Yeah, there are. And getting phished is totally a thing. Yeah, a lot of people could get phished. Especially if you're expecting an email, right? Let's say I forgot my password, and I click on send me the link to solve it. If I got a random, unrelated phishing attempt at the exact same time that was saying it was by Amazon as I go to reset my Amazon password, that very well could get me. I could fall for that, right? Because Amazon will, but again, you're the one who's initiating that, right? As long as you're the one initiating, and again, that's actually how a popular PayPal scam works, is you engage with the scammer and say, okay, they say they're gonna pay you, and then you're expecting to get paid, and then they send you a fake email that says you have been paid, but before you can access your funds, you need to click here. And because you're expecting it, it feels less like a scam, right? Because you thought you were going to get paid, and then you got an email saying you're getting paid, and so you think everything's on the up and up. Well, it's not, because they sent it. It's not real. That's the whole scam, right? So you do have to be careful, but generally speaking, if you are the one to click, like, if you go to Amazon.com and can't sign in, and then you hit password reset, and if it says, okay, we've sent it to an email if there is one, and you go to your email and you see that thing from Amazon, that's probably real, because you initiated it anyway. Ultimate Sarky says, I'm in the pub at the moment, Joe. Just reminding you, if you upload Saturday's stream to YouTube after the stream. Oh, I probably would have forgotten. You know, I'm going to write that down. Do I have a piece of paper somewhere? Scribble it on the back of an envelope. Okay, there we go. I just dropped it. I'm not going to pick it up. I'll pick it up after stream. Dropped my pen. Rolled right off my desk. But yeah, Sharky, I will. Scammers will also call you back, hoping that you called the bank or whatever and said you'd wait for a callback. Oh, so they think that the bank will tell you to wait for a callback, and then they'll call you saying it's their callback? Do banks actually tell you to call them back? Or tell you that they'll call you back? Oh, that's annoying. Yeah, but let's see. But basically, be careful, even if it's an account you're mutuals with, because their account could be hacked. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, that's why things out of the blue you shouldn't interact with, which, again, it can make it hard. But yeah. That got really common with people randomly selling everything they own for insanely low prices. Oh no, don't click that. Wait. I only accept people I friend or who are on my contacts. Yeah, but yeah, even then though, especially on Discord, Discord takeovers, account takeovers are really, really common. If someone, so like, yeah, that's really common on Discord. So if someone messages you some random thing, even if it's a trusted person, like, don't click it. Generally, what I do if it's a link that I don't know, I will literally put the link minus the HTTP, all that. I'll just put it into Google and see where that takes me. Because if it's a common thing, people will be talking about it. It'll you know, you'll be able to find like a Reddit link or something where people are discussing the shady ass link, right? But generally speaking, don't click the link first. And the other common Discord scam these days is someone asks you to playtest their game. I could see that. Yeah, there used to be a good website for checking links called Is It Safe or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. But generally speaking, you could just put it straight into Google and see what pops up. Because yeah, most of the time there will be dialogue somewhere on the internet about it. Or, you know, ask your friend and just see what they say. See if it sounds like them. Talk to them a bit. I guess I'm lucky these things never happened to me. Yeah, but that's the thing. I mean, in some ways it's less about when it happens and more about just, even if it's not happening, having a good process to not allow it to happen, right? This is the same. This is why I think a lot of times it doesn't matter if you're dealing with a scammer or not, because they shouldn't be able to scam you even if they're your friend, right? You shouldn't be doing... I mean, it's not to say that you're not trusting people, right? You just don't trust someone if there's... Well, it's not really trust. You don't have to... I guess you don't have to have trust on the internet. Not really. It's sort of a... I mean, it's kind of the same just in real life, right? If someone says, hey man, can I have your wallet for a moment? I'll be right back. No? Is the answer? No? Why? That you don't need that? Oh no, man, it really is important. Trust me, bro. No. That's not important. You do not need my wallet, right? Like, it doesn't matter if it's a friend. There's some things you just aren't gonna do because that's not how you do normal day-to-day things, right? And so, same with, like, give me all your login details. No, I'm not doing that. I don't care if you're my friend. I don't, that's not how we do business. Or, or, I mean, those are stupid examples. Yeah, but, like, it doesn't matter if your friend is like, hey, download a thing. I don't really want to right now. Like, why? Oh, well, it's, okay, like, is it, I mean, I guess there is some trust that happens, especially with file downloads and stuff from friends. And yeah, I guess if a good friend, if you were, like, literally on a call with them, talking to them, hearing their voice, everything sounded totally normal, and they casually brought up that there's this really cool game they've been playing and you should try it, and it sounds plausible. Maybe they had mentioned it, a couple weeks before, and finally you're getting around to asking about it again, and they link you, and then you click it, and it turns out it's a virus or something. Like, yeah, I don't know how you would avoid that. If everything, multiple checks, they've talked about it, it wasn't out of the blue, nothing seemed suspicious. They've, like, for example, I've been hyping up Zoominos, right? It's been a game I've been playing a lot. I like it. It's fun. I recommend people play it. I don't know, like, if I did a long con to try and get people to try something that is not safe, then, like, and somehow anyway, I don't know why I'm bringing this up, but, like, I guess there are ways that I would get scammed, right? Nobody's scam proof. But I think generally, especially for things like dealing with money, dealing with private information, allowing access to your computer, just things that are generally no-goes, don't do that. Long Kong Zoom. Yeah, I mean, I think there could be, like, if someone... And also, like, the fact it's on Steam is a teeny tiny bit more... I mean, I know there's a bunch of crap on Steam, but... I mean, I'm just trying to think of an example of, like... There are cases where you have enough sort of proof and enough people are in on it, and there's sort of an overwhelming amount of evidence that this thing is real, and then it still turns out not to be, that you would get... Anyone would get scammed, right? But most scams aren't that sophisticated. Most scams are just like, just trust me, bro, I've done it this way all the time. And you're like, but that's not the right way to do it. They're like, oh, it's okay, though. I've done it before. And you're like, no. But if you say okay, then it's a scam. But Joe, your brother is held captive in a room and needs money for his ransom. Give me your bank account, right? Even if he was held ransom and needed his money for ransom... Me giving people my bank account isn't how it would happen, right? That's not how you send money. But yeah, so right, it's that kind of thing where... Yeah, it's just... scams, to me, are fascinating. I think they are so interesting because they rely on human behavior and human nature and sort of the gaps in the way that we take things for granted and do stuff automatically, and they kind of hijack your like reasoning systems, they kind of take over in a way that make you feel like they get you to do things that you would never do, right? They get people to buy a bunch of gift cards and tape them to the inside of a book and put it in the mail. What a weird thing to do, and yet people will fall for this because they're put in a position that makes them feel like this is the only way out of it. Scams are just fascinating. But Joe, aren't you the long-lost relative of a Nigerian prince? I mean, nowadays, though, and I know you joke, Ron, but nowadays, people could call your mom, like me, right? I'm on the internet. I'm talking to you right now. I've even talked to my family about this, but like somebody could call them with an exact copy of my voice. It would sound just like me. It would rant the same way I can rant. It would use my same... It would sound identical or nearly identical, and it could come up with a plausible thing, and it could sprinkle little details about my life that I've mentioned. You know, maybe I've said where I work, or that I've you know the city I'm in, so they could name a nearby city and it would sound plausible, right? It would be very easy for someone to spoof my voice and use AI and have someone talk with my voice, right? Probably even could have a video call with my face, right? Scams don't have to be as stupid as you're a long-lost relative to a Nigerian prince. Yeah, Kit Boga's a great streamer who exposes scammers. Scam baiters are fun. They bait the scammers into just... Sometimes they do silly stuff. Sometimes they are just trying to expose them and sort of do good, I guess, in the world. But I like Kit Boga because he's more of like a comedy routine where he just calls them up and has a good time with people. And obviously, if he can get access to their computer and stuff, he'll do that. But most of the time, he's doing it for entertainment and a little bit of education to show people kind of what kinds of things the scammers process looks like. You've lent your phone or someone my phone to make a call before, but it was standing there and watching that they were doing? Yeah. I've done that before as well. Knowing full well that they could be doing something shady, right? But I think, if they started, like, pulling out a wire and connecting to my phone and be like, okay, hold up, that's not okay, right? And yeah, there's always going to be some amount of trust and risk and stuff, but I think, especially online with just normal things, whether it's downloading stuff, clicking on links, verifying payments, there are right ways to do that that are not just relying on trusting someone. Albuquerque, New Mexico. What's that? I feel like that is something, but I don't know why you copy-pasted that, Sarah. Why are you I missed... Why are you copy-pasting Albuquerque, New Mexico? Is there... I might be out of the loop. I feel like there's something... Oh, that was one of his most recent... Oh, okay, I haven't watched his stuff recently. It's been a while. Yeah, I didn't see that one. What if we change the sky to a blue? I don't know if that's good or not. Purple. I've been noodling on this painting for too long. I think I missed some chat, by the way. Your friend needs someone to draw his fantasy city. Oh, you're talking about a commission. By Sir James Fanciest. Yeah, any commission requests or any commission requests, email me. There's a link in the description somewhere, wherever you're viewing this. Although technically if you're on YouTube, there isn't. But if you're on Twitch, there is in the About Me page, or if you're on my Instagram account, or if you're on my X account, aka Twitter, or Blue Sky, there should be an email link. If somebody wants to commission me, send me an email asking to commission me, basically, and maybe tell me a bit about the project or about whatever it is, and I can then, we can have our back and forth there. I'm not gonna do actual business stuff over Twitch chat or Discord, or not even in Discord messages, right? I don't really like, and if it's not you, then don't do it on his behalf, right? Have your friend, I don't know if that's what you were saying, but if you were saying that your friend might want to commission me or something, then have them message me. I don't know if that's what you were saying, but I apologize if it's not. Since we were talking about that, about the proper ways to do things. But yeah, one of my rules with sort of work-related, business-related inquiries is that all the information needs to be in the same place. So it's either all in email, so every single thing, even if we discuss things in person, it needs to be restated in an email. So if you don't repeat it, I will repeat it to make sure it's all in one place and we're all back on the same page. Especially when multiple parties are involved. Otherwise, it's just too much. It's too easy for things to go wrong. I mean, you hear of stories of someone saying this is what they want in person, and then they get another person involved, and you assume everyone's on the same page, but turns out it was never actually, that the first conversation was never talked about between the other two people, and so you end up delivering the product, and they're like, this isn't what I wanted, but you're like, but we talked about it and it was. It's like, well, no, you never actually wrote it in the email, right? Like, it needs to be there. That's something that's kind of common when multiple people are involved. And it kind of ties back into the don't get scammed thing, or like how not to get scammed, which is why it's so important, I think. Like, if somebody messages me, that's why it doesn't really matter if they're a scammer, because I'm going to treat it as a serious thing at first. Now, I will admit, if it's a really unorthodox, I feel like that gives me free reign to be a little unorthodox, but generally speaking, you can treat it the same. But yeah, also I'm not always taking commissions. Lately I haven't been. This is very something. This is very deserty. Desert landscape. Do we ever go like this? Add texture here? Or is this weird? Do we go up or down? Maybe we go up and down. Yeah, it used to be that I would get scam email like every, I don't know, like twice a week. But I haven't been getting it lately. I don't know if that's like Google filtering it out for me, or what. We're gonna make some shapes here with the lasso tool around these rocks. I think more experienced artists just get less scam emails. Not exactly sure why or how. Yeah, maybe. I could see that. I also think it depends on where you're posting. Like, I know with DeviantArt, that was just ripe for the scam pickings. Like, when I was posting on DeviantArt regularly, I think they would get a lot of my art, or they would get my email and stuff there. And I think it makes sense to sort of, I mean, okay, I'm not actually advising this, but from a scammer's perspective, it makes sense to target beginners, right? Because if they've never worked for people or worked with people, right, then the scammer can guide them through how that's going to work, right? If you don't know how commissions work, well, here, let me explain it to you, and I'm going to get you to do it my way because I'm the scammer, and I can walk you through step by step of how you're going to download my shady payment method, and you have to make sure you have this thing first, and, you know, do all the stuff that we want. Whereas if you are like if you've done it before and you're like, that's not how I work, sorry, you're never gonna get a bite. Apparently a lot of people get scam DMs on ArtStation too, not just DeviantArt, but I can't remember the last time I got one. Yeah, I used to get a bunch also. I haven't gotten any in a long time. But it's always stupid stuff where it's like they didn't even look at the art. Like, I was mentioning that one time where I got somebody asked me to design a wedding invitation. I'm like, have you seen my art? A wedding invitation? Okay, suppose I did it. Well, I was like, what kind of... Can you point to images in my portfolio that are the types of things you want? Because hey, if you wanted to commission me to do art for a wedding, but you want it to look just like the stuff I already make, like, look, I might judge you for your choices about wedding invitations, but I'll do it if you pay me and I do the art. But if you're asking me to do something that I don't do, then no, we're not going to be doing business, right? So, you know, it's just, it requires a little bit of poking and prodding, sort of trying to understand what they want. And it turns out with the wedding invitation, they ended up giving me, I think I mentioned this one on stream, it was my favorite because I had a big back and forth with them. And they did all the classic telltale signs, talking about them being in a, you know, like out at sea and they can't respond very quickly because they're a captain on a boat. and also how it's super duper urgent. And what else did they say? I had a big back and forth with the scammer. It was pretty fun. And it was so obvious. And then they sent me some AI generated images of them and the quote unquote bride. And it was just two people who looked like literally royalty or something. And I'm like, this just is not, this is just all sorts of weird. You're telling me you want fantasy landscape wedding invitations when you otherwise look like a royal family? Like, what is happening here? Like, how would people fall for this? But also, like, hey, and I basically just kept, at some point it just resulted in me telling them to pay me. Like, hey man, if you can't solve this hurdle, how are you going to solve the problems, you know, issues when they arise in your marriage? I didn't actually say that, but like stuff like that where it was so obviously a scam, but I was just every time they'd be like, oh, I can't pay this way, I must pay in this way. I'm like, sorry, this is how I work. Or like, can't you do it this way? It was funny. Ronald says, weirdest commission I ever did was a wedding photo with a king whose head was a piece of toast marrying a giant shrimp with a Pikachu in the middle like a child. What? Who thinks of that? That's amazing, but that is so weird. And beginners are way more excited to get contracts, so the excitement may cloud judgment. Yeah. Well, and also, if you just don't know what's normal, then if something's unexpected, you're like, oh, that sounds good. Sarah says, I talked to someone IRL at a meetup whose art literally looked like preschooler drew it. Not to be mean, just to give you an objective metric. They got so excited when they got a message to do a commission like a week after they made their ArtStation account. I had to warn them it was a scam. Yeah, exactly. Right, that's the thing, right? Like, of course they would get excited. I got a commission. It's my first job. I'm gonna be a professional artist. Like, that's exciting, right? And so, yeah, I do think that's probably definitely would make sense to target beginners. that being said, just because you get a scam doesn't necessarily mean you're a complete beginner. Or it could. It could mean you're a total beginner. Also, my perspective is so off, it's not even funny. Speaking of beginner. What a wild commission. That's funny, though. I love it. I wanted to say it's so stupid, but it's not stupid as in it's cool. It's nicely done, but what a weird. Sorry, stupid was not the right word of choice. Thank goodness you signed it. So strange, but it paid well. It's awesome. I think that's another reason people need to build an objective understanding of how their artwork compares to the work out there. Even if your goal isn't to improve your skill set, you just want to do it as a hobby. It helps to be more on alert for... Yeah, that's true. Just having a... I mean, yeah, I think you're right. What they wanted was a super generic Pikachu. That's so funny. I love it. That's so silly. Wacky? Yeah, wacky. Wacky's a good word. That is wacky. For those who were not sure what we meant by what wacky means, that's a pretty wacky commission. It's out there. It's zany. It's silly. It's bizarre. See, if someone asked me that, I'd be like, are you sure? I'm not sure I'm the right person to draw that. Have you seen my art? What makes you think I could draw a king as a toast and a Pikachu and a shrimp person? Basically, taste is a skill. I think so. Kind of. Sort of. Yeah, I mean, I think, especially if you go like a standard route of learning art, you learn where others are because that's how you've learned to get better and improve. You got commissioned to draw your mom's boss's family in the Bob's Burger style once. That's hilarious. So I kind of have like a soft rule. I'm calling it a soft rule because I'm not hard on it, but generally speaking, I won't take commissions from IRL friends and family. It just... Because most of them, all the commission requests I've gotten in real life have been people who primarily are asking me to commission them, not because they've seen or liked my work, or because they want something similar, but because I'm the artist they know. And that, to me, is not a reason to commission me. Like, if that's the case, just go on Instagram, find art that's similar to yours, and message that person, right? Like, go find someone who's doing the kind of thing you want. Don't message me just because I'm family. What if it was your best friend? Well, I'd probably already be making them art for, like, their birthday and stuff. But no, I think it's fine to ask people for... Yeah, I mean, I think if the best friend wants it because it's you made it, I think that's different. I think it's different, though, when it's friends and family and you kind of know their motivation is, like, they just don't know any other artists. Or if they do, they don't really know how it works and that you're convenient. Or even if they're feeling sympathy and like, oh, Joe needs a job or something, and like maybe we can give him a charity case, that kind of thing. Or maybe it's what else could it be? I mean, it really depends on what the motivation is, right? If they're like your best friend, which I don't know if I have a best friend, it's weird to give that title, but anyway, yeah, if they're like a very good friend hopefully they would also, hopefully you'd be on the same page, right? And it depends, yeah, it kind of depends on why. Assuming if they want art from you because they just like art that you did, I don't know. It'd be weird if your best friend knew you did art, didn't like your art, and still wanted art from you. Like, I don't have any issue with my friends not caring about my art. I don't actually care. You don't need to like my art, right? It doesn't matter to me if you're family and you don't like my art, or your friends and a friend that you don't like my art. I don't care, right? That's not changing my opinion of you or my art, right? But it would be very weird for a friend to want my art if they didn't already like it. I would be a little... It would be a very strange dynamic, I think, to be in that situation. I can't imagine a friend... So, like, surely they would have liked my art, right? Your sister... Sarah says, my sister wants to commission me at some point to paint the Hadestown set because she thinks it's my light color would fit it nicely. And I do want to do that for her at some point, but it's not priority right now. Yeah, that's fair. They probably know your style. Yeah, true. Yeah, exactly. Your friend would probably know your style, right? At the very least, they would know what your art looks like. I've had friends and family ask to commission me when they've literally never seen what I paint. No, I'm not going to do it. Because that's not... No. Find someone else who you actually will be like, because maybe it's I don't want to disappoint people. Like, I'm very, so when it comes to commissions, right, I have I have this way, and it's kind of, I don't know if you call it, not a coping mechanism, but it's a thing where it's something that I think, so a lot of people have dealt, so I'm going to describe a situation, and this is not what I'm dealing with, but a lot of people have dealt with this thing, which is they get something to commission, and the client really loves it, but the artist isn't super happy with it, right? But the client wants it, and they're happy, and you're like, all right, I guess here it is. Like, it's finished, but also, like, not my best work, but client seems to be happy. And you're like, all right, whatever. I'm done. I think people have experienced that, right? Especially beginner artists to some degree. Probably everybody at some point will that happen. Yeah, and it's okay. And I think the way that I sort of deal with that is to remind myself, they wanted the art. They messaged me, right? They like my art. I may not feel like I'm fit for the job or the right person for it, but they can do their homework, and they picked out me, and so they obviously like my work enough to pay me for it, right? That doesn't work when they've never seen my art. That justification goes out the window. If the client has never seen my work, now if they don't like it, it's like, well, that's also on them because they never saw it first. But, like, I don't want to have an upset client because they didn't do the job they should have done first. Like, I don't know, that just feels... I don't know, it almost feels like if you were to call up a plumber and ask them to do some carpentry thing, and then you get pissed off when they aren't a great carpenter. It's like, first of all, shame on the plumber for taking the job, because they should have told you, go find a plumber, or a carpenter. But even if they did take it, why did you call a plumber? Like, right? Like, I'm more on the camp of, like, okay, both parties need to be responsible here, and the plumber needs to say that sorry, I'm not the right person for the job, and the person calling the plumber needs to not freaking call a plumber for a carpentry job, right? Like, just do both. So it doesn't matter which side you're on, right? If you're the artist and someone calls you for a thing that you don't do, just say I'm not the right person for it, right? If they clearly don't know, if they clearly haven't done their due diligence to look at your art and figure out what kind of work you're doing, then don't take it, because it's not like that just feels irresponsible. Maybe it's not the perfect analogy, but I don't know. That's kind of the way I justify it to myself. Yeah, basically, and it doesn't really matter. Again, as long as the client's happy with it. But the way you get around that is, well, the client is happy with it, so I did my job. But that's why commissions aren't very fun to do. Agreed. Commissions can be fun. And ideally, they would actually like your art, right? And be happy with it, so that when you just... The best commissions are the ones where they trust you as an artist, they give you a lot of freedom, and they don't just say they do and then they nitpick it. That's another thing that you see a lot. Where if people are like, oh, you can do whatever, and then you do whatever, and they're like, actually, not that whatever. Do this. I want this, and this. So you're like, oh my gosh, I already did whatever. Like, I've already done whatever, and now you're telling me to do something very not whatever. And then that gets not fun either. But the best commissions are the ones where they basically give you a rough outline of what they want, and then they let it actually, you make choices. Those are the best, because then you can be happy and they'll be happy with it, and they actually had not expectations, but they had low requirements, I guess. But yeah. I agree. Commissions are not, they're not fun. Sometimes they are very fun, but yeah, they are very hit or miss. And especially when you're doing commissions for non-commercial commissions. If you're doing commercial work, at least then you are typically dealing with like a professional art director. Like if you're doing Magic the Gathering work or something, you're going to be dealing with the Magic the Gathering art directors. And so it will be like a real job. It's not going to be a random person who's never hired an artist before trying to navigate a weird thing that they're not even sure they actually want or need. Maybe they just thought they needed an artist and they actually didn't, or maybe they don't know what they want and you have to figure it out, and it's weird and messy, and it's hard. It's hard to navigate that stuff. So yeah, it's very chaotic. Commissions are interesting for that reason. Okay, I was going to do another water scene. I've been talking and yapping and not painting very much. I'm still in the pub, but Joe, another... Yeah, I know. I'll try to do it. I don't know when I'll get around to it. I'll get around to it. You hold your horses. I did a critique kind of thing for Ultimate Sharky. We talked about his painting and some ways to sort of fix some of the issues that I saw, and so he wants it uploaded because the stream was not good. Straight after the stream? No, right after the stream I need to get food and stretch and break, and it won't be right after the stream. But I did write it down. I have a note. It will be before the end of the day, probably. Joe should, instead of ranting, work on Saturday's stream uploads. Exactly. Yeah, what am I doing? Why am I not uploading Saturday's stream while I'm streaming? We could just do an entire... Okay, new stream idea just dropped. I got a new stream idea. If anybody wants to jump on this, this is theirs. They don't have to pay me for it. If you should stream, but your content of the stream is editing and uploading your previous stream, where all you do is edit your own stream, or turn it into videos and then upload it, and then that's the content for your next stream. You are just making a video of you making a video. That's it. Genius idea right there. It's a never-ending loop. That is the stream, is uploading your streams. Just showing people, here's how I upload streams to YouTube. Yeah, but are they editing the previous stream's video editing stream? Is that what they're editing? Now, the real question is, what's the first stream? The first stream, maybe it doesn't matter. You just do a stream, and then the next stream you start the loop of editing it. I don't know. I think it's a genius idea. That would be a new one. Yeah. I'm a #1 gift subber. Oh, thank you. Wait, did you just gift a sub and it not say anything? Thank you for being the #1 gift subber. #1 blob, let's go. I appreciate it, Sarah. Sarah, did you gift a gift sub today? Maybe it did it not play? Wait. Did I miss something? If I did, I apologize. I never want to miss... Sarah is rich. Quick leech off her. Wait, earlier today you get... Wait, I knew that. Wait, no, I thought someone subbed. You mentioned it earlier. Yeah. I actually didn't realize it was a gift sub. I thought it was a sub. Because for me, it doesn't tell me it's a gift sub in my notification thing. It just says whoever so-and-so subbed. But it didn't say it was a gift sub. I need to go in my alerts and change things. I think my Streamlabs is all messed up. Or my alert box. But yeah, thank you. I prime subbed on Sharky, dang it, you'll get it. Chill, man. Chill out. I'll upload Saturday's stream. Or you know what? Here. You know what? We're gonna do it live. Right now. Channel. Okay. I'm doing it. I don't know if it's gonna crash. Can I even do this? It's not gonna be... Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Creator dashboard. It's not going to go to YouTube. I lied. We're not going to... It's not going to YouTube. Content. Video producer. I don't know if I can screen share this. It might get real funky. When was Saturday? What day was that? Was that the 8th? Let's look at my calendar. Saturday was the 8th. Publish. Are you sure you want to publish Streetview painting, map crunching it up on Clipstudiopaint? Yes. Okay, it's done. That was it. See how hard that was? Stream is now on Twitch. It should be in my VODs. Where's it going to? It's going to Twitch VODs. If you click on my profile, it should be in VODs. Or there should be like a previous stream setting. Has it worked? It should. I don't know. I don't know if... It might have portions that are muted. Sharky, chill. LOL. Yeah. Sharky's getting a little rambunctious. Even just very demanding. Has it... Yeah, I don't know if it worked. It should work. There's a drop of blood in my ocean feeding print. I don't know what that means. Don't know what that means. I'm assuming a song. But yeah, always happy to talk about art stuff. If I'm ever rambling about something non-art related. As a shark. Oh, right, your name. Why is Joe not video editing? I already did it. It was quick. World's quickest video editing. Oh, one of those is Skyrim's. Gotcha. I've been listening to folky playlists all day called Dog in a New England Field, and it's quite relaxing. Oh, nice. Would it be good stream music? I'm always on the lookout for new stream music. I'd be up for playing some Dog in a New England Field. YTF is the Indiana Lottery emailing you. I haven't lived in Indiana for years, and I've never played the lottery. Probably a scam. Don't click the link. Don't click the link. You did not win the lottery. I haven't played the lottery. Time to redeem my winnings. Yeah, don't. If you don't play the lottery, you probably haven't won $1 million. And to redeem it, just click here. I haven't painted clouds in a while. Where do I enter my social security number? Exactly. You have to redeem the lottery somehow. Grimoire 1989. Hello. I don't like these clouds. They're not very dynamic. It's just an advertisement? Oh, I see. It's just trying to get you to play the lottery. It's, well, maybe they're saying, hey, we see you. It's like the Duolingo adverts, right? It's like, hey, we see you haven't done your daily lesson. How about doing your daily lesson? Hey, we see you haven't played the Indiana lottery lately. How about playing the Indiana lottery? You're like, but I've never played it. Exactly. Better no time like the present to start. You want to keep up your daily lottery streak, right? Dude, I swear, there are people. So, I live in kind of a not super rich area. And as somebody who works in a grocery store and it has a lottery machine, it's really sad seeing the people who are addicted to the lottery and scratch tickets and stuff. Because, like, those people should not be doing scratch tickets. Like, I shouldn't be judging them because I technically don't know. But sometimes you have a pretty good hunch when you, again, yes, I'm stereotyping, but you look at someone and they just don't look like they're in a good place. And that consistently, the people who are playing it are people who look like they are the last people who should be playing the lottery. It's extremely predatory, and it's really sad. It's, meanwhile, contrast that with, a group of teenagers who think it's fun and they're going to buy some scratchers and they're laughing about, daydreaming about hitting it big or something. Like, that's different, right? If you're playing it knowing it's basically a scam and knowing that you pretty much won't win, but you're buying it just because it's fun and you can laugh about it or whatever, and it's just that, like, moment of a, it's you're paying for entertainment, not for an investment. Then go for it, right? If you have the money and you want to spend it on that because you think it's fun, that's fine. But if you're paying it because it's your way out of of your life, or you want a better life or something, that's where it's bad. I have no issue. Like, my mom will buy them for like Christmas and put them in like stocking stuffer as a stocking stuffer. I think that's fun. I enjoy doing a scratcher or whatever. If you find one in your stocking or something, and it's probably not going to win, but that's okay because it's not really about that, right? It's just for fun. But yeah, if you're doing it as like an investment or something, it gets really sad, and it's kind of hard because, like, part of me is like, hey, I should tell this person to not do it, and it's like, oh, that's not my place to do it. They can make their own choices. And yeah, it's yeah, I guess technically I did buy one lottery when I turned 18. That's fun. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever bought one for myself. I think that's not true. I think I did. There was a while back, where It was like 10 years ago, probably. Oh. What's happening? What's happening? Is it a raid? I can't tell. Oh my goodness, my stream. I can't see what's happening on my stream. Who's that? Who dat? What was that a raid? Or was I don't actually know. I genuinely can't tell what that was. Was that a sub? Mom. No, it's not mom. I don't know what that was. I missed the thing. How can I not see this? Sharky sub. Thank you for the sub, Sharky. What's up with your OBS show? I don't know. My OBS is broken. Somebody save my stream. It's so broken. Okay, Sharky sub. I see it. Thank you, Sharky, for the resub with the Prime. Thank you. I appreciate you. At least it isn't flickering today. True. But yeah, thank you, Sharky. I appreciate you. Means a lot. We're gonna make some grassy areas overlap, and this kind of feels like a little bog. Not a bog, like a swampy marshland. By the way, I sent the dog in the field in chat link. Oh, okay, let me take a look. Oh, Spotify, okay. We're gonna listen to some dog in an England field or something. Do we crank it? Does it have lyrics is the question. Dog in a New England field. Oh goodness, it does have words. It has lyrics. I don't love lyrics in songs when I'm arting. Okay, here we go. I don't know, is it too loud for you guys? Or is it not loud enough? I'm not cranking it, but... Okay. Also, it's random. I have it randomized, so it might start playing further stuff down. I don't mind. It's good vibes so far. Too soft? Okay. I just don't want it to ever be competing with my voice. You know? Okay, how's that? I'm gonna trust you guys. If this is... I feel like this is not right, right? It's too... Isn't it just as loud as my voice? Almost? I think it's almost as loud as my voice. I'm skeptical. I know you said it was too soft, but I think you were trolling. I can hear you fine? No. Okay. Is it... So Sarah, is it you can hear me fine, but it would be more pleasant if it wasn't as loud? No, your voice is quite a bit louder in my opinion? Okay. Okay. Because it's less about can you hear it and more like is it optimal? I guess that's the question. I usually can't hear your music at all? Okay, fair enough. I do keep it pretty quiet. I don't paint enough clouds. Just landscapes like this. Your music too low. Attack. No. Your voice too loud. Maybe that's it. This is looking pretty, thanks. I think it's a good little sketch. Sketchy sketch. A blob. Stop confusing him, Peter. Yeah, I get confused easily, Peter, and you're not helping. That's okay, though. You know, it makes streaming fun when you have trolls, a little bit of trolls. Not like the bad trolls, but the good trolls, like Peter. Peter's a good troll. I'm no troll. What? I think you are. A little bit. You have a trolly streak in you. It's okay. You can admit it. Maybe it's unintentional, but it definitely comes across. It's a good kind. Again, it's not like the kind of troll like trying to make people angry. Stop assuming my gender, Kappa. Deny. Deny. A troll would dent. Wait, it would deny being. See, exactly. That's what a troll would say. Only a troll would deny being a troll. I think Peter does have a bit of a troll streak to them. Okay, but that's okay. We don't. It ain't no thing. Doesn't matter. Okay. What am I doing here though? I am just doodling. Kinda. Yeah. I don't know what else to do to this painting. I kind of like it just as a sketch. It's very blobby. I mean, it's very low resolution is what it is. So we can't really do any details beyond this. It's blobbing time. Joe, I don't mean to monopolize the convo back to this, but speaking of imps and trolls, do you have a favorite mythic in Zoominos? I'm genuinely curious. Oh. So, okay. I'm gonna rant. Hold on, we got a screen for this. You asked me about my favorites of something? Oh boy, do I gotta rant about favorites. So it depends on what we're talking about. A favorite for what? An overall favorite is hard. But this is like asking about a favorite artist. Like, it depends on what we're talking about. Like are we, so like, there are favorite as in like best, like in a random game of Zoominos. Is there a mythic that I would love to see most often? Probably. I'll have to think about that one for sure, what it would be. I'm sure there's an example. But sometimes it also comes down to like early game, mid game, late game. Like late game, I'm typically like once I already have combo pieces online, you're typically just looking for a thing that already does what you're doing, but just makes it a little better. So like the dude who has all the effects of the things in your hand. I don't know what it's called. The raccoon dude. That's always good. Right? But then you don't really want to see that one super early, because then he's kind of bad. And so you'd much rather see like a carbuncle in your hand super early, where it can give you direction. So if you don't have direction, yeah, Tanuki. Tanuki is great late game when you already have combo pieces online and your deck's already popping off, and that just pushes it over the edge. But something like Carbuncle, if you don't know what you're gonna do when you find an early Carbuncle or an early Ouroboros, that can basically win you the game, or at least get you to the late game on its own, right? Ouroboros, if you find an early one, that's amazing. Sorry, I went on a rant about Zoominos. Zoominos is a great game. It's like a deck builder, a roguelite deck builder, with kind of like a Balatro where you get really absurd numbers and you have to score high scores or else you lose. And you have to, it's a very strategy. There's a lot of strategy involved. But yeah, so sometimes if you don't have direction, something like an Ouroboros or Carbuncle, or what else is really good early? I'm trying to think of like what is really, really. I'm sure there's another example. But those two come to me as like early game ones because they can set you up for a clear direction, and then things like Tanuki is really good for late game, right? Then there are like combo ones where you like to see them in pairs, right? Like the thing that gives all the squares plus 20, and then the one that doubles and makes all squares permanent. And so you get those together, and suddenly you start cranking up the values of that. And like, but that's not something you really like. That's probably fun, and that's one of my most fun things. But it like basically never happens, and you never angle towards it because you can only choose one mythic at a time. Like, you're very rarely getting 2 mythics at a time, so you don't typically want to actually take those, in my opinion, because you're basically then just hoping you get the other. And like, why would you take a mythic where you have to hope to get a better one when you could just take a mythic that's actually going to help you win the game? But yeah, stuff like that. I would really like to get a run where I can Rainbow Snow Cone on Arctic Fox. Yeah, that's always good times. Yeah, Arctic Fox, so I was actually thinking about this. So you don't have a favorite. Well, I have like, I don't know. I have least favorite that I begrudgingly take sometimes. The stupid, it's like I think it's okay. So okay, let me go on a different rant about Zuminos here. So in my head, I like to think of not like a tier list, but it does help to think about like, you know, if you're given 3 options in a vacuum, which one do you take, right? Like, which one is just sort of better in the most cases, or which one is most likely to lead you to a win kind of thing, right? So I kind of like to think of like a tier list. And I was actually thinking about some sort of making a rudimentary tier list for like your non, like, I think a starter tier list would be really easy to make, but like an uncommon tier list, things like the Arctic Fox, or like Arctic Fox is like S tier. I feel like that, for whatever rarity that's at, that is such a good card. It just fixes your early game and basically makes you have a really smooth sailing game until you can start doing some other thing. But yeah, I think there's a lot of cards like that are just, you just always like to see them. I think in terms of like most overpowered card super duper early, maybe not most overpowered. I will say when I'm doing challenges, because you get random starters in Zuminos, and the best starter, pretty much, I think almost always, is the Aeroptrix. I just think it's overpowered. It honestly should not have 3 power or 3 points. It should, at most, it should be a 2-pointer. Maybe even a 1-pointer, and it would still be broken. Because then it's basically just the Orca, except it's better. It's like the Orca, but instead of doubling itself, it doubles anything else. Which I guess technically requires it to have 2 pieces. Archaeopteryx, that's the word. Thank you, Archaeopteryx. Yeah, so actually, technically, it's a 2-piece combo, whereas the Orca is a 1-piece combo if you kind of get your deck online. But Orca also forces you into a very specific playstyle, whereas the Archaeopteryx, I still struggle to say it, it just makes stuff good. It is, I think it's genuinely too strong, but I also thought about if you made it 1 point or 2 points, you would have to buff the average of the other cards in your deck, which isn't really possible. So I don't really know how to balance it, but it's too good. It's basically, if I'm doing a challenge run and trying to win, I'm always tempted to, like, there are certain starters where I'm tempted to restart. Archaeopteryx, best one. You'd love to see it. So yeah, that might be my favorite, just because it's so fun to play with, because it's good. And I know favorite should not be what is the best. I know it shouldn't be, but it is good. Although I'll admit it's a little annoying, the sound. Speaking of sound, though, the Orca is my least favorite sound. That is a horrible sound. I don't know if it's just too loud, That one's... Oh yeah, that one's not mythic. True, that's a starter. I randomly started ranting about starters. Mythic. I gotta look at the list of them. Is there a wiki page yet? Dude, is there a wiki for Zoominos yet? Zoominos Mythics. I will say I really enjoy the win more cards, like the one that gets you all the money. The creature that's like it gets you gold based on how many other units you have on, or how many other animals you have. That one is fun, but it's just win more. Like I don't ever like taking it if there's something better. But it is a lot of fun to have the money roll in, and if you're in a position where you're already winning, it just seals the deal and makes you for sure win. So that's a fun one. But no, I think that one's not actually a good card. I mean, I am a big... No, you thought you'd get... No, favorite questions are always really hard for me because it's so it depends. But no, I don't really have a favorite. I might if I have to... I'd have to look at the list. Sometimes they jump out at you and you're like, ooh, that one's for sure. But I think Ouroboros is probably the most fun because the number goes up so fast and you're just, it's exciting. I feel like Ouroboros is probably up there. Funny enough, I rarely use it. And I rarely feel like when I do get it, I actually win because you have to kind of already be in a thin deck. Do you have any animals you find yourself wanting to take just because you like them and don't even like the ability? No, I'm too much of a sweaty gamer when I'm playing typically for that. I'm trying to win. No, normally not. Well, yeah, I do actually. So, well, no, but it's still very much because of their ability. Like, I really, whenever I see Vogelkop, is that how you say it? I pretty much am trying to force it because I think it's really strong. But sometimes you just don't have the deck to facilitate it, and you don't have a some sort of doubling square, or if you don't have an Archaeopteryx already to double it, right? Obviously that combo is overpowered. If you don't have a 2x tile somewhere on your board already. So sometimes I just take it sort of speculatively, just hoping. You're just playing hope. So there's a term in chess, which people call it hope chess. You just make a move and hope your opponent doesn't see it. And only if they don't see it is it a good move. But if they do see it, then it's a bad move. You're basically playing hope Zoominos, where you just take things hoping that the RNG comes later. So yeah, that's... There are sometimes I am tempted to play hope Zoominos, where I'm just hoping. I'm hoping to see the cards that I want because I think they're fun to play, but they're not actually good in the deck. So yeah, but if they're still based on their ability, because their abilities are fun. I will say I do really like I don't think they're amazing, but the gem creatures. I think Carbuncle and all the gem stuff is really fun. The ones that give +1 to all your gems, or the ones that give you one of your favorite gems, or even the one that gives you a random gem. I think all of those are really fun. I think just gem strategies are just... there's a term in Magic the Gathering, I don't know if you're familiar with it, you probably are, called, like... So originally it was just called... there was, like, these fake archetypes. They've changed them now, but it's basically the archetypes are Timmy Tammy. So Timmy and Tammy are like the just like big creatures. They just like stuff that's fun. They don't care if it's good. Then you have Spike. Spike is like the hardcore competitive dude who just wants to win, and that's kind of an archetype of like from that mindset of a player, right? And then you have like the Johnny kind of player. The Johnny player is, he just likes janky combos, weird interactions. It may not be the best, but and I've always been, when it comes to games like this, I've always been what I would consider like a Johnny player. I like the weird combos. I like the strange combo pieces. They might require 3 pieces to work, but if you get them online, my goodness, are they a lot of fun, right? And maybe they're really good, but like you kind of have to hope to get them because it's not reliable. It's a little janky, right? In the Magic scene, there's a lot of combo decks, but if you can't reliably hit your combo, you're gonna lose. And so Johnny players probably don't care if they're hitting their combo consistently because they just want to roll that dice and hope they hit it. So I'm somewhere between like a Spike and a Johnny, right? I try really hard, but I also like the fun, silly interactions that, you know, break the game in a good way. I don't have much of like a Timmy spirit in me, which is just like, oh, the big cool creature. I like dragons. I'm gonna play dragons. I've never been much of that in these kinds of games. I have a little bit of it, but Tammy, and yeah, so I think now they've added that because they've been more gender inclusive. So they've added they used to all just be male names, but they've added the female counterpart to. So Timmy is now paired with Tammy. I don't know what the Johnny is. Johnny and Jill, maybe, I don't know. They've added the other parts too. I can't remember all of the archetypes, but basically they're just ways to signal, like, because in Magic they try to design for each of those, right? They want the Johnny players to have their fun Johnny and Jammy, yeah. They want their Johnny players to have their fun interactions, right? They want their Timmys to have their big creatures, right? Their 10/10 trample creatures that cost 10 mana, right? It's a terrible creature. You would never use it in a real deck or in a competitive deck, but it's so fun to play that big giant creature that's going to trample over your opponent, right? That's what, you know, that's what Timmy's all about. He just likes the big stuff. Big stuff, cute stuff, that kind of thing. Which is, you know, it's fair, but I think everybody has a little bit of that in them, but it's, yeah, I don't know why I went on this ramble. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk, I suppose. Okay. But yeah, anyway, there's some sketches from today. I had a good time. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Sarah, thanks for hanging out. Everybody, thanks for the subs, for the follows, for the likes, for ringing that bell. Just kidding. There is no bell on Twitch, but if there were, you would ring it anyway because you're cool. So thanks for being here. I'm gonna end stream.